What's going on? I am Nando.
And I am DJ.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Yeah,
Hooray!
baby.
Yay!
This week, a movie that stars people that sound like different people, you know? It's a lot of voices in there. So we got some of them here. More than
Very
you didn't even
distinctive.
hear. Secret voices that you missed.
Nando, why would you go and say a thing like that? Like a liar.
Uh-huh. This is gonna be a tough one, guys. So we're gonna have to. This is the thing. We don't have as much to say about this movie. Maybe we do. I think we will have things to say about it because it is very interesting. The world it exists in is strange. But to spice it up for you, the listener, I'm gonna try out some weird accents that may or may not work. Here we go.
Would you believe that me, a podcaster, someone with an innocent background, would do a ton of drugs and then cheat on my wife and then have a child with Olivia Munn? Incredible.
I mean, I don't know too much.
And don't forget, that's after I've done a lot of bits about how much I love my wife. I made it a huge part of my act.
Yeah. Oh, man, him. Remember he was in that Chippendales movie earlier this year?
I do remember that.
2 for 2 animated movies this year. Way to
I
go.
can't believe that only came
And
out
Disney.
like 2 weeks ago.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Well, no, not and Disney, right?
What, Chippendale?
Yeah, but this
Wait,
wasn't Disney.
Oh, yeah. This is,
Yeah.
Blah.
He's got
Sorry.
both of them. They're both in his
wow,
pocket.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
The crossover potential is incredible. You guys.
Even though he's
Well,
a
that's why.
philanderer.
That's how everybody know. That's how you can tell that the Irish control the media.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That is what they always say.
I'm always saying this.
That's why Colin Farrell's winning all his Oscars this year and stuff. The Irish.
Yeah.
They
Do you really
made
think-
the movie The
you really
Irish
think-
Man sad, and then that's going to win everything because they're appealing to those Irish in charge.
Yeah, you really think Banshees of Inisherin was that good of a movie? I don't think so.
No. I think it. Wow, you're kidding me. Brendan Gleeson pretended to be sullen? No way. For a whole 2 hours? And Brendan Fraser, not Brendan Fraser, Jesus.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser.
Colin Farrell pretended to be kind of dopey and cried. Incredible. No, I do like that movie. It's pretty
I'm
good.
picturing Brendan Fraser doing this.
See,
Plus, it
Irish?
had the sure
Maybe.
sign of a bad movie. It had Barry Keoghan in it.
No. The Eternal Zone, Green Knight Zone, Barry Keoghan, Batman post-credit scene zone. We all love him. He was cool.
Feels
He had a
very
year.
inside baseball. Very inside baseball.
I like him a lot. You guys, I have some news.
Oh,
We all saw
shower
this.
us with your
We
news.
talked about this. This is the biggest news for the history of future of cinema. Everyone's favorite, the breakout hit of the year. Everyone's favorite character is back. Of course, you guys, I'm talking about Scoresby is returning in Avatar 2. The guy with the whale and his whale nemesis, whatever the whale's name
gonna
is. But
say,
Scoresby, the most
Nando,
important one.
Let's be. You're really burying the lead here. The important thing is that Paya Khan, the outcast Tulkun, the hero of the movie, is coming back.
And his human nemesis, something Scoresby. That was how the article framed it. As if, it's like Jake and the other one, the army one, and then Scoresby and the big whale on opposite sides of a field, and each one knows they hate the other so much. I don't know. He's kind of a robot army figure, something like that.
Ulysses
I don't know.
Claw style.
Yeah.
Do it like that.
He was.
I don't know, or maybe he'll also have had his body his mind
Yeah.
backed up into an Avatar body, and now he's a Na'vi.
That'd be really funny if they they did that, and then but he survived the first thing, but then they just shot him, and they're like, "We're doing Avatar for you too. I know you have, but what is basically a livable injury, but you we wanted to upgrade you to Avatar for the next one."
We just want everyone to be Avatar now, just so we don't have to give them the breathing masks. It's easier if you're all Avatar. The kid, you're now Avatar, kid. Just like your dad.
That's
you're
right.
Avatar.
No, yeah, he's got to be Avatar soon too. Did you hear? It seems like they might go and meet the fire avatars in the next one.
Yeah.
It's just funny that we're doing Last Bender Avatar. That's also named Avatar. He
It is
named it
Avatar.
Avatar. Just get a name.
Yeah, because that's what he was watching when he wrote it. He was just cheating, and he accidentally left the kid's name on the test. It's that classic cheater's foible, where
in fairness to James Cameron, it's not like I'm going to do air and water and then fire is like an earth-shattering concept.
I don't know.
I just
Calling it
don't know how we do
Avatar.
again. I don't know how we go again with Jake Sully being like, oh, I have decided now that this is my family and this is home. It's my home for real. Oh no, my home has been threatened. I must go meet new Avatar and learn their home.
Well,
Maybe a big volcano erupts in the ocean, and then the fire avatars show up and be like, this is fire avatar now. And he's like, I have to protect my home from the fire avatar.
yeah, it does seem like the fire avatars are going to be bad.
Okay.
So, groundbreaking stuff.
I was going to say, if we do have fire avatar, like, the humans should have no chance. Like, fire avatar should beat everybody.
Well, but they're like, if we follow the rules of other Avatar, it's not that they like breathe fire or whatever. They're just really good at living around volcanoes.
Yeah, so they're like a really thick skin, I guess, and like a really, I don't know. Are there actual animals that live near volcanoes, and what's their deal?
I mean,
Fire
there's
deer, fire whales,
yeah,
fire sharks.
Yeah,
there is like deep sea creatures that live near super hot heated vents. And they're just very good at surviving in super high temperatures. I don't know about, like, volcanoes.
Dinosaurs, probably.
yeah. Would they be like cold-blooded, or is that something these guys will be?
Yeah, dragons, duh, Nando. Don't be an
Dragons, that's
Right,
true.
Dragons, yeah. Gorons. The little fire
that's a good one.
centipedes that show up
Yep.
in the dungeon.
idiot. Yeah.
Those big things that are three circles on top of each other and swing
Right.
around, you know, those things.
Valu, the great dragon.
Yep.
So, a lot of potential for fire avatar to have many friends.
I think they're making a big mistake by not doing purple avatars from the caves, but whatever. I guess you got to save something for movie 4 or 5 or whatever they're doing.
Who will
But
be the new Scoresby that
Well,
takes
no.
our hearts and be like, oh, we love you now?
That's a great question.
Well, apparently it'll be Scoresby because he's coming back.
Well, we need new Scoresby. I don't want old Scoresby.
Oh my god!
Do you think
DJ,
is he
you
going to
can't
hunt
even-
volcano whales now?
Let's go.
I mean, by the end of the movie, he'll probably have teamed up with the whale. If anything, like him and the whale will have an understanding. Maybe they'll finally figure out what the fuck's going on with Jermaine Clement's character. Maybe he'll be the Scoresby of the next movie. You know? Why is he there? Why does he sound like that? What's his deal? I think he survives, right?
Yeah. We don't
Yeah.
see
We
him
had, a,
die.
we had a long discussion about that in the pod.
And if Scoresby survives, that would be insane.
Yeah.
What happened? Everyone died but me. I have no arm now, but they all died, and I survived.
If that's what happened, I would be like, he killed them, is what happened.
Yeah.
Scoresby says there are no survivors.
I am excited, though, for Scoresby to come back. I'm just shocked that he got his name was in the thing. It wasn't like characters are returning to Avatar. It was the whale and his human nemesis, Scoresby. So, I was right to like him. Everyone likes him, apparently. People do like him because they think he's their dad or something. Apparently, he just seems like a lot of all Australian dads. So, it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everything's dads now.
Everything is dads, yeah.
Except for this. This next thing is not dads. But everything
not
else is dads.
It's yeah, it's not dads. It's families.
No,
but
yeah.
it's not
It's the
dads.
well, you know, if you squint, I could imagine it being about dads.
Yeah, it's a stretch compared to some of the other stuff, especially the other Shrek media. But it is...
Yeah, because Shrek is dads.
Shrek is
Well,
dads,
Shrek,
yeah.
Shrek the Third and Shrek Forever After is dads.
And even Shrek
1
2 is about Shrek not liking the dad. Like, there's a lot of
Shrek-
dad in those movies.
Yeah. Shrek the Third and Shrek Forever After are Shrek as dad, but Shrek 2 is about, like, Fiona's dad and father-in-laws, etc.
Yeah.
Derivative dads, as we call them.
That's right. But you guys, also Megan, we're getting another Megan. What do you guys think of the title? Megan
It's
2.0.
Megan 2.0, right? Yeah, I don't love
Regan
it.
2.0.
I don't
Yeah.
love it. You gotta go Maforgan or, like, Matugan.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the two, obviously.
Yeah. I do
What
think...
if they did it as a countdown? The next one was Matugan, and then after that was Mawungan.
Oh my god, Megan or something would be, it's like, yeah. I mean, she says it's Generation 3, but Bruce is not Generation 1. It seems like there are 2 other generations we just skipped.
Right.
So, yeah, those guys should show up. I do think we'll get a Terminator 2. Mithrigan is good now. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, that's where this will go. Because...
Like, Gemma is going to reprogram the original Mithrigan to fight the new Mithrigan.
No. Well, that could happen too, but my ideal version of this, New Mithrigan is the copy one that got emailed away by the character that was definitely a pedophile. And it comes to kill Gemma, and then Mithrigan now is good because learned the error of her ways from being the Alexa, rebuilds herself, and then comes to protect the family. And they three of them have an uneasy alliance or something. I don't know. And then at the end, Mithrigan tries to kill him again because she just can't help herself, you know. Mm-hmm. Scorpion gonna scorpion, as they say. That's a thing.
It's a reference to the classic fable, the classic Aesop fable.
The classic Aesop fable.
Did you say Aesop?
You know, that's actually how it's supposed to be pronounced. Aesop.
Aesop.
Really?
Yeah, it's messed up.
I bet there's some. I mean, is any of these guys fables in this movie? Puss in Boots isn't really a
They're
fable.
mostly fables, right?
Well, they're mostly fairy tales or nursery rhymes.
Yeah, it does seem like there is a distinction in the universe of who's what. And trying to think of like a fable. Yeah, I don't know.
The fables are all just like there was a donkey or there was a toad and a scorpion. Like,
right.
They don't usually have names.
Well, I figure like you could see like Tortoise and the Hare or something showing up in this, and you're like, oh, that's who that is. But I'm trying to think if that has happened. I got to save it for the sequel because you guys, I don't know if I'll get one, maybe. But this week we are talking about not Mithrigan 2.0, Puss in Boots 2.0, The Last Wish.
Yeah.
You guys, I know we're a little late on this, but that's just because Mithrigan came out, and that was more important.
I mean, it's more because this is now VOD.
Thought that too. Well, it was VOD like the week it came out. It was insane how quickly that went 5.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
It's important that it's on VOD if you're a traitor, if you betray the sacred principles of the theater that laid down to us by James Cameron.
Or you have a child. That's, I feel like, another one. Does James Cameron not have children? Does he not get it?
Well, he doesn't have to take care of them if he does, DJ. He's rich.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay, so, yeah. Doesn't fucking get it.
He does have children. He has 4 children: Quinn Cameron, Josephine Cameron, Elizabeth Cameron, and Claire Cameron.
Cool.
So
I have to imagine his children are adults by now.
yeah, they seem oldish. Yeah, but
Do you think they get it? Do you think they're like, Dad, you're so cool. We get your movies so much. You're the best.
do they think did they watch it and go like, wait, which one of these do you think I am?
Yeah, am I the shit son or am I the
Sigourney
good
Weaver
son?
to you? Yeah, what's going on?
Am I the dead son?
Yeah.
Spoilers, I guess. Sorry.
Spoilers. One of the sons dies. There's too many sons to even keep track of. I don't know. If you told me one of the different sons dies, I'd buy it. But yeah, it's a great movie full of sons. Speaking of movies full of sons, they're all somebody's son, I guess. We got to talk about Puss in Boots 2: The Last Wish. Well, all the boys are.
There we go.
You guys, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish came out end of last year. Released, I think, the week after Avatar, maybe the same week as Avatar. So it was not. People didn't hear about it.
This was. Yeah.
What'd you say?
They could have picked a better release time. I think this was kind of poor release.
Yeah, it feels to me like a Justice League situation where it had to get released this year for bonuses. I don't know if that's true, but I was trying to figure out why in God's green earth they would release this movie now. And maybe
Probably
they thought
for
Avatar was going to bomb, but yeah.
For the Oscars blitz, so that they could be eligible for all those awards.
Well, that's the other thing. Why would you release it this year? You're going to lose to Pinocchio. But I think they'd have a pretty wide berth next year. Looking at the animated movies that are coming out, I think they could win Best Animated Feature were it not for Pinocchio.
What about Spider-Verse? What about the next Pinocchio?
God, yeah, that's true. Spider-Verse. Yeah, what about future Pinocchios? That's true. Spider-Verse is going to win next year, too. Damn it. And Spider-Verse can we just pretend that's a movie? And these are animated movies and just elevate it so it gets taken out of that category.
So you're saying, like, Spider-Verse is going to be so good that it's not the genre for babies that is animation. It's actually a real movie?
Exactly. Do you think we can do that?
We can try.
You'd have to ask the Academy.
Yeah.
Who is the Academy?
A bunch of rich a-holes who think they're great about movies.
Is it like, are actors in it?
Yeah. Pretty much anyone who works professionally in Hollywood gets to be a member of the Academy.
So I do think the Hollywood Foreign Press added a black person last year or something, right? That was part of the speech, because they're kind of a tight-knit group of weird white people.
That was part of the please let us be on TV again. We'll pretend to be less corrupt.
Did either of you guys watch the Gerard Carmichael opening monologue?
No.
Where he references that person that Scientology disappeared?
No, that was a mid-show joke, which was also great. But no, he just did an opening monologue of like, this is why I'm here. They paid me all this money, and they said we're not racist anymore. And I was like, I was going to take the money. It's pretty funny. I like Gerard Carmichael. I've always kind of been a fan of his. I was happy to see him here. But yeah, it's that one seems more exclusive in a way that's like, you know, you never know what they're going to do because you could just buy a Golden Globe. But like with the Oscars, yeah, I think you could just give everybody a role in Spider-Verse, you know, because there's a bazillion Spider-Man. Get everybody a voice line so then they all go like, actually, we're going to put this in Best Picture this year. We think that's the way to do it. And then they all win Best Picture. And that way Puss in Boots can slide into the Best Animated Feature move. I think that's a move.
I think that would actually backfire pretty bad because generally speaking, if a movie makes it into the Best Picture noms and it's the only one in its like category, like Best Documentary or Best International Feature, that is nominated for Best Picture, then you know that's the one that's going to win.
Yeah.
Always happens.
Plus, maybe you'll think it's going to win, and then Anthony Hopkins will win instead. Sometimes you just can't win with the Academy. But you guys, we're talking about a movie that I'm sure will get nominated, but probably will not win this year. One of the technically 4 movies from 2022 with Pinocchio. Some would say the least, but perhaps the best amount of Pinocchio. That's up for debate. Perhaps the best Pinocchio per volume on screen. Puss in Boots 2: The Last Wish. So, DJ, you were the IMDb'sman, I believe. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. How does this work?
Well, so you two are going to guess the summary for the movie on IMDb. And I have the IMDb summary up here. And you may be asking, where does the IMDb summary come from? Well, it's interesting that you would ask, Nando. So what happens is the people from IMDb, they're very lazy and they're not good at their job. So what they do is they find a map to a wishing star that could give them a wish to like what a good movie summary is. So they get the map and then they have to do the hero's call. So they have to partner with someone along the way, scorn a lover, face a villain, and then when they get to the end, they wish, oh, great wishing star, please give me an IMDb movie summary that's good. And the wishing star goes, well, I'll give you one that's okay because you asked nicely, and I can't always come up with a good one. So the wishing star gives them a summary, and then the good people at IMDb put it down, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. This one, I would say, it's accurate. I think this one's pretty good. I think this one's good. It's not bad. It says what the movie is, and I think it's good.
All right, so it's accurate, it's good, it's not bad, and it's good.
Yeah. It's adequate, it's fine, acceptable, satisfactory, all those things?
It's all of those things, yeah.
Wow. That's high praise.
It's high praise.
It's high praise.
So
who goes first?
Diggins?
I guess Diggins, it's up to you.
Yeah,
I get to choose.
Yeah.
I am going to go first because I think I've got a decent idea for this one.
All right.
I'm also writing something down right now. So if mine's the same as yours, it's not cheating. Go on.
Okay. Oddly specific, but all right.
Mm-hmm.
Down to the last of his 9 lives, Puss in Boots hangs up his boots and retires from adventuring. But when he hears about a wishing star that can restore his lives, he sets out to bring the legend back to life.
Interesting. You know, mine's
Nando?
pretty similar. No, mine's mine. Oh, it's not super far off. It's a little shorter. Okay. After he finds himself on his last life, Puss in Boots and some new friends, let's say some new and old friends, must journey to find a magical wishing star and get Puss's. Just to end it there, must journey to find a magical wishing star.
You were both off, but
Like if you're going to say me, then do it. If you're going to say Nando, I think a tiebreaker is warranted.
I think we can tiebreaker. I'm fine with tiebreaker.
Nope, sounds good. I think Diggins wins.
No, wait a second.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was teetering when Diggins said that. I'm like, no. So I feel like Nando, you only had like one thing, but Diggins had like two things.
Oh my gosh.
Two is more than one. I learned
is
that.
Is it though? How many things did he have that weren't there? A lot. How many things did I have that weren't there? Fewer.
I also think he got the tenor of it more. He won by a razor thin margin, but he did win.
No,
if there's anything we've learned over the past 8 years, it's that counts.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I hope he'll remember this during future voting.
I assure you that I will not.
I should not have reminded you of the corruption at the Golden Globes, and you were like, I should do some of that corruption myself. What is the summary? I'm curious.
Puss in Boots discovers that his passion for adventure has taken its toll. He has burned through 8 of his 9 lives. Puss sets out on an epic journey to find the mythical last wish and restore his 9 lives.
Because I mentioned the number of lives, and Nando didn't.
Yeah, you also
I thought it was implied, because he's a cat.
Nando only had journey, and Diggins, I think you both said wish. Diggins had like the oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the order.
The je ne sais quoi.
Sure.
Well,
neither of you said last wish. That would have gone a long way if one of you said last wish.
What's the name of the
last wish? Like, it's the last wish, but like, is it? I don't know. That's what they said. They didn't even know.
There could be nothing in the movie implies that there could not be more wishes.
Yeah, they've been wrong about a lot of this stuff so far. I feel like Shrek probably made a couple wishes. No one was like, "Oh, how many wishes we got left?" So I don't know.
I think the only wish. No, because Shrek never made a wish. He did make a cursed deal with Rumpelstiltskin, but that's different.
And with the fairy godmother, they were both like. There was a lot of that. But I feel like the fairy godmother grants wishes, usually. Like, that's how she works.
That's true. That's like what her whole factory is, right?
Yeah.
Where they go in the second movie, it's like her wish factory or whatever.
I think that's in the third movie, but yes. I think
No. That's definitely the second movie, because that's where they get the magic potion that makes him human and Shrek and a donkey into a beautiful horse.
Yeah.
And they refuse to show us what beautiful dragon looked like, because she doesn't show up till the end after the potion is worn off, because they're cowards.
Yeah.
They didn't want to go down that rabbit hole. That's a dangerous game you're playing there, bucko.
I think she would have looked exactly the same, but she would have had huge honkers.
Ooh. Now we're talking. Maybe, what if she would have looked like Fiona, and then it's like, whoa, this is a problem. This makes things difficult now.
Wait, Donkey, what does that say about what you think? And
exactly.
Donkey just starts sweating, like, What if they took the potion and Shrek turned into Donkey?
That would be great.
Wait a second.
That's why he wanted him away so much, was because he knew that this was what was going to eventually come to pass. I like it. It's a good movie. Shrek 2 is cool.
Well, because Diggins won totally fairly and with no bias or laziness involved, you get to tell us what you think of the movie first.
Well, no, Nando, as our loser, has to tell us what happened in this movie first.
Honestly, that's a prize for this movie. Nando should be honored.
It's an easy one because...
I look forward to the numerous ways in which you get it wrong.
Yeah. Well, so we start with Puss in Boots, just Puss in Bootsing around, which we'll get to. And over the course of his Puss in Boots, and he dies again. And he dies, and the doctor/haircut guy is like, hey, you died too many times. And Puss, who, I don't know, he's really stupid, I think, has never counted how many times he's died, so this is news to him. And he's like, wait a second, oh my god, 9 lives, and I've got 8, down the toilet. So he retires after he meets a mysterious wolf monster man and almost gets killed by him. But then, so he goes to retire at like a weird like cat lady house full of cats that are that aren't humanoid cats like him and don't seem to know what that is. I don't understand what a cat is in this universe, but whatever. He goes there, meets little puppy, secret puppy. Then a bunch of bears show up, and they're the Goldilocks, and they're like, we need Puss in Boots. And everyone's like, never mind, he's dead, because he pretends to be dead because he buried his whole thing. And then Puss in Boots hears from them that they're looking for a last wishing star thing, which he seems to already know about, maybe, because the movie starts with him narrating about it. But, like, it seems like he knew that was possible, but he just didn't know where it was or where the map would be. So he has to go find it, puts on his little clothes, doesn't have a sword, goes with the dog, goes to the pie factory, does a bunch of shenanigans, meets Selma Hayek, his girlfriend from the last one. She is, like, other thief now, but she wears, like, a little mask. I don't think that was in the last one.
She was always a thief.
Right, yeah, but she's got, like, a costume now. That I couldn't remember if that was new to sell toys or what we were doing with that. But, yeah, so then the bad guy is Jack Horner, who is some sort of, I don't know, humongous Frankenstein man with the teeny tiny baby's head, and he owns a pie factory.
He's a pie baron.
Yeah, he's a pie baron who collects all the magical stuff from Disney that's not quite exactly that, but it looks like you're supposed to see it and go, oh, I know what that is. But it's not going to get anybody sued. So then they find the map, and then they get it. And there's a big fight over the map because Goldilocks is there too. And then Jack gets all this shit. He packs it all up in a big Mary Poppins sack or something that seems like the Mary Poppins sack, but legally is not. And then they all go on a big journey through this forest that's like a void or something. I don't quite understand. Like, they go into it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Portal.
It's like a little pocket dimension. We never see how they leave. But it does seem like it's its own thing, and they all knew about it, but no one ever tried to go in, or if they did, those people are all stuck there, I guess. I don't know. If you go in without the map, you're pretty much screwed, because the map does all your character arc for you, so they all do that, and we get a bunch of character arcs, and the map turns into a big, like, floating Pandora kind of thing sometimes when it shifts. And, yeah, they all kind of chase each other. Puss learns to be in love again and to not try to keep getting so many lives. The other cat, Kitty Softpaws, Selma Hayek, learns that Puss is actually cool and he's scared of everything. He's a little coward. And then the little dog is there and he is nice, and that's his whole deal. He learns to do silly face. And then at the end, they all fight in a big Super Smash Brothers level for some reason. And it ends with the wolf comes back. The wolf's kind of been popping in and out. He fights the wolf. He learns that he shouldn't be so worried about dying or something. And then he goes and they kill the big giant man. He gets crushed in the falling wish stage thing, and he gets like sucked into something. And then that's it. And then they hang out with the dog. It seems like the three of them are some sort of like pirate gang. I don't know.
Yeah,
well, yeah, but like, what is that? I still don't completely understand what Puss in Boots is, but we'll get to it.
Like Robin Hood and his merry men. They're the team friendship.
But like, Robin Hood and his merry men were like, it seems like Puss in Boots is like on the same level as these bounty hunter characters, and he like rides alone from city to, I don't know. It doesn't. The problem with Puss in Boots is it does not feel like Puss in Boots has as much. He doesn't have like a thing that he's doing. He's just sort of showing up places and doing some Puss in Boots stuff. That usually does end with toppling whatever government's there or whatever. But like, I don't know. I'm still kind of curious. We'll get to it.
He's the hero everyone loves.
He is. He's very popular. Oh yeah, he's a big hit.
He's your favorite fearless hero.
Yeah. And then Shrek is around later, maybe. Not really, but like eventually. They go look at Shrek's house and go, look, it's Shrek.
Show up for like a second.
That's true. They're in his little Lion King flashback thing where they're all sitting and stuff, and they look great. Looks fantastic. I'm trying to think if anything else happened. The bears own the pie factory now. The pie man's dead. All his people are dead. Bears are going to inherit a very empty factory. They're going to have to figure that out. It's going to be tricky. And
well, Jack Horner only brought his baker's dozen. Those weren't the factory workers.
I would assume some of them were, right? Like they had chef hats and stuff, and they all worked. All their weapons were like, spoons. I feel like those people were making the pies as well. So
but also, if he has a big pie empire, probably he had more than 13 employees.
You'd have to assume. Then that's probably true. And then the wish dies. It evaporates into nothing. The end. The dog is a dog still. Dog is around.
The dog is still a dog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is how it ends.
What else happens? I don't know. That's pretty much it. There's a like bullshit in the middle where like they go to do a little bit of character development and stuff, but that's not really important for the plot. It's important for the movie, but I can I'm not going to go over all that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you crushed it.
Like, yeah, it's mostly a movie about Puss in Boots. At that end, it's like also Shrek. So that's important. I remember leaving the theater going, oh, right, this is a Shrek thing. So that was fun. Yeah. So Diggins is this week's winner. Some would say fairly, some maybe not. It's up in the air.
Some would say that it doesn't matter whether it's a mile.
Oh no!
When there
Diggins
were
had a
rumors,
stroke.
Remember when there were rumors he was going to be in Avatar 2 and then he just wasn't? That was like a whole thing. I remember like hearing that and being like, oh, yeah, interesting. And it just never happened. He could have, maybe he tried to do scores, but he couldn't do it. Maybe he tried to do the accent Jermaine Clement was trying to do, and he couldn't do it even worse than Jermaine somehow.
Maybe like how he was Groot, he was originally Paya Khan.
Or the tree. Just in the background somewhere.
Tree,
we're like,
yeah.
oh, that tree was probably supposed to be Vin Diesel. But yeah, not credited. So whatever it is, he's got to fix that with his agent. So Diggins, what did you think of Puss in Boots 2, The Pick of Destiny? No, The Last Wish.
Well, I guess I do my opinion first. Now, we can only assume by the tenor of Nando's opinion that he hated the movie, and that's the assumption we will work with until he finally gets to talk.
Yep.
That makes sense.
I think this movie is pretty good. I think it's definitely in the upper tier of DreamWorks movies. It's fun, it's sweet, it's charming, it's got really good animated action scenes. There's barely any dated pop culture references. Just like everything you could ask for in a DreamWorks movie.
That's true. There are barely any of those.
There are barely any. But no. It really is very good. I think Puss in Boots, like, it felt that when they made the first movie like a really weird cash grab tie-in thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like, this is the character that the kids like. So let's see when they made a Minions movie. You're making a Puss in Boots movie, but I don't know. There is something actually very charming about the character. He's a lovable rogue. He's kind of arrogant, but in a silly way that feels fun. And I think it works really well. Like, he is a character who works well in having his own movie, especially because he's basically Zorro, and Zorro is already a movie. So it's not that already a movie where he's played by Antonio Banderas. So like, super easy to just turn him into his own movie. But yeah, no, they did a really good job of just, like, everyone has their own little arc that is all centered around this one object, so it's easy to kind of, show the various ways in which how everyone's relationship with this object mirrors their character arc, which is a very, very useful thing to do in, like, a children's movie like this that is supposed to be, easily comprehensible, but it still executes it really well. Puss in Boots has panic attacks, which is interesting. All the fight scenes, if I've already mentioned, but all the fight scenes are incredible. Like, they're just super well animated. Clearly, everybody who animated on this movie watched Spider-Verse and was like, we should do that. And it makes a little less sense, like, thematically, where it's like Spider-Verse did that both as, like, a comic book thing and as a way of signifying, like, the discordance of multiple universes mashing together, where it's like not everybody animates on the same frame rate or whatever because they're all from these different places. That being said, it still looks really cool, and so when they do that for these fight scenes, I'm like, yeah, this rules. I feel like I just don't have very much of substance to say about this movie, because it's just like a really well executed, like, fairly simple but solid character arc children's movie, and, like, that's good. That's a good thing, and it did it. I'm proud of it. I'm happy for it. DJ, you don't get to go next because you were the IMDb's man. So Nando, what did you think of the movie?
So I'm sure, as if regular listeners of the show have heard me recommend it twice probably, and because I saw it in theaters and then I went home and pretty much just voted it. Because it was immediately votable, which I find fascinating. I'd love to hear what their release strategy was with this movie and why. But, yeah, I don't know. It's probably like one of the best. It's definitely my favorite Shrek movie, probably. I think it's the one that I think, yeah, like I think Shrek 2 is very good, but also I think this might be better. And then it's probably my favorite DreamWorks movie, besides maybe the first Kung Fu Panda, which I really like.
Viewers, that is the sound of me slowly putting down the knife.
I can't wait for the next Kung Fu Panda, because I think it's these guys. And as much as I love a Puss in Boots by them, and I couldn't, like, I'm sure a Shrek by them would be cool looking, but like a Kung Fu Panda by them would be pretty sick. Like, I already thought, I was telling somebody about this. I was like, no, I think this was Hannah. I was like, you haven't seen a Kung Fu Panda, right? She's like, no. I'm like, it's pretty cool. Like, they do some cool stuff with the Kung Fu that it's pretty creative, and like, I don't know. I think it holds up. I haven't gone back and watched the third one in a while. But yeah, it's
one is the not good one.
Yeah, and like, I feel like I remember liking the second one, but also feeling like it's just not as much of a thing as the first one was for me. But it may be more complex. It may be more interesting. I also think it's going to be hard to beat that tiger. As much as Gary Oldman was cool at the time, yeah, it's just, I don't know. But anyway, you guys, this movie's the best. It's the best of all those movies. Best movie about a cat. Best movie about Zorro. Best movie about stars. It's all
more than A Star Is Born.
More than A Star Is Born. More than Star
versus the Forces of Evil.
That's a show, but yeah, they maybe made a movie, some sort of like direct to DVD kind of thing. Sure,
it didn't happen.
I could see it existing.
It did. I watched that show. It did not happen.
How about Star Wars? Better than those? Absolutely. You know, not even close. They're all bad. But yeah,
Star Wars is bad.
It's very good. It's a good movie. Antonio Banderas is good in it. It's interesting because I'm like, how old is this character supposed to be? Because it's like, he sounds a little old, but it's also like he's a little baby kitty cat. So that part's tough. But his performance is good.
At least it's not a prequel like the last one. That would have sounded really weird.
Yeah, and I think like it's interesting because these characters, I think, everybody I told about this the first week was like, oh, I don't think I saw the first one. And I'm like, good, because I didn't, and it was probably not as good. And also, it probably confuses everything. Like, just pretend it's Zorro, and then it's fine. Zorro, and he has a cat girlfriend from somewhere, and that's another thing.
I didn't ever watch the first one either, but I looked up stuff about it in anticipation of this podcast. I'm pretty sure literally the only thing that carries over is that Kitty Softpaws exists.
Yeah. I would have liked it if someone checked up on Zach Galifianakis, the egg, or whatever. But,
well,
yeah.
Spoilers for the first Puss in Boots. He's super dead.
Oh, is he the bad guy?
Sort of.
Those bad guys. They're not good, are they? There's also a cartoon of Puss in Boots that has been going for way longer than you would expect.
That's like every DreamWorks property. Every DreamWorks property, they're like, let's make a cartoon that nobody watches, that goes on forever. And like, is it canon to the movies? Maybe, but we'll never tell.
Yeah. Also, it looks like the first Puss in Boots had Jack and Jill as antagonists, probably. Billy Bob Thornton and Amy Sedaris. But also, there's a beanstalk part of it. So maybe that Jack was both Jacks?
No, they are separate characters.
I don't see a second Jack then. Like,
he's not a very big part of the movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, overall, movie's great. It's the best one. Animation's great. We'll talk about it. But I think it makes sense as, like, it feels enough like they justified it being part of it's a storybook universe, so things look painted and like, you know, little, there's that part of the flavor I think makes sense, but it looks way better than the first one, and honestly better than any of the other Shrek movies, and I do think it's the closest we've come to Spider-Verse since Spider-Verse. I don't think anybody has done this quite as well.
I would say in like big blockbuster animation, I would say that is true. I think people have done extremely interesting stylistic stuff in other like smaller scale animation, for example, Wolfwalkers.
Yeah, I guess what I'm thinking with Spider-Verse is this kind of, because Wolfwalkers was like animated, you know, 2D animated kind of stylistic, and we get those every so often, and those are usually pretty good. But I'm thinking like, take a movie that usually would look dull, or not dull, because they probably look, Puss in Boots 1 probably looks cool, but just like do more to make it cool, and then it's cool. I feel like it is something.
Make CGI animation visually interesting.
yeah, like make the people look kind of different, make the cats and the cows and stuff all look kind of different. And it helps because I do think the Puss character looks better than he ever has. Like, he's got more life in him. Funny enough. But, like, there's more eyes, more expression. It's all very good.
Well, they just very subtly change the design to emphasize stuff like that more.
Yeah. And as a person who likes cats and doesn't like pies, couldn't ask for more. This is great. Great for me.
You've never stuck your thumb in a pie and pulled out a plum and talked about what a good boy you are?
I mean, I feel like as much as the movie makes a point to have it be like both his like old school timey thing that he did once and then also his current method for pie checking, I think those pies would be bad. Everyone would hate them, right? Like, or would it be the thing where you get one with a big hole in it and you're like, he put his thumb in, this one better be good? Because I think hole in pie is a different thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just being raised in the late 90s. American Pie gave that a whole different meaning. And, I don't know.
I still don't understand. I've never watched American Pie. I don't understand the mechanics of that. I don't even know how it would feel good.
Well, so the guy said in the movie. Okay, spoilers for American Pie. In the movie, someone asks, "What's it like? What's sex like?" And the person that he's talking to describes it as it's like warm apple pie. And I think that person's just trying to be kind of metaphorical, but. Right. In a moment of confusion, Jason Biggs and Finding a Pie decides to test it out. And, it's pretty good. Those movies, I mean, they're really bad. A lot of the things in them is terrible. But Eugene Levy is really good in them. And that line when they're just sitting there, and he's like, "We'll just tell your mother we ate it all." I do think is very funny. Anyway, DJ, what you think of Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, and American Pie? Have you seen any of them? They made a lot.
I like, if I've seen, maybe the first one forever ago.
Okay.
Like in college or something. It's like, oh, let's see this movie.
College DJ probably loved American Pie.
Yeah, probably. He was a dummy. So what do I think of Puss in Boots: Last Wish? I think you're both underselling how fucking perfect it is. Wow. This movie's perfect. It's amazing. I love it so much. I think Nando got close to talking about how great it is. Diggins, you certainly undersold it. It is the best DreamWorks movie. Not How to Train Your Dragon, not Kung Fu Panda. It's this.
Listeners, that's the sound of me picking up the knife.
Well, no, Diggins it just doesn't have enough. What was it? Genocide? What is it you don't like about the How to Train Your Dragon movies? I can't remember.
That's only the third one.
It's only okay. Yeah, that's what it's missing.
I fucking love this movie. It should win Best Animated Movie. Fuck Pinocchio. I haven't even seen it, but like, fuck Pinocchio.
Wow.
Coming hard out the gate on this one.
This is real Jack Horner energy, if you ask me.
Listen, I think some feedback has been that sometimes I don't give strong enough opinions on the podcast. That, I come in like too media. I'm like, oh yeah, like whatever. It's in the middle. No, I'm coming in hot. This movie fucking rules, and I love it. I fucking cried. It's so good. The characters are great. It's so fun. Yeah, it's a kids movie, but like, I'm not Bob Chapek. I think that this movie could be for adults too. Like, fucking the wolf is legitimately scary at points in this movie. The wolf character, I'm like, oh my god, am I ever fucking the Puss in Boots? His hair staying on his head, the hair staying on the back of my neck. Oh my god, it's warm. It's so good. It's funny. It has like just like characters that like you like want to like cats. You just want to hug them so much, like bring them close. The Goldilocks with the bears thing I think is amazing. It's so good and heartwarming, and I fucking love this movie. This movie's so good. I loved it so much.
DJ, if there was ever any movie where it would have been like appropriate for after Nando and I were too hot and too cold for you to do a take that's just right.
Yeah,
this would be it.
The problem is we weren't. Yeah, we were both warm.
We were both like, yeah, this movie's quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will say, I think they kind of. I wish they had done that joke a little differently. I wish the last time she said it was the first time she said it. So I do think we heard it too many times for it to work.
Okay.
As well. But
kind of hit you over the head with a sledgehammer with it. I get that.
Yeah, and you could have easily cut her off every time. Have something just stop her, or have her kind of be like, "Oh, this is just where's the map?" But that's fine.
Or have her never be satisfied, where she never feels like things are just right.
Yeah. The problem is the bears say it more than her. She does.
That's true. It's really mostly the bears.
And that's how the dynamic of it is a little different. But yeah, it's They're good. It's very interesting.
And like I do think like obviously it's not perfect, right? There's like but I do think like visually it's a lot of what Diggins said. It's so like it's such a pleasure to watch. And like the action scenes are fun, and so I actually had never seen the first Puss in Boots movie. Like obviously knew like what
none of us have. We all said that.
I think I think I had it on once in the background because I do remember bits of it. But also that might just be the trailer. They're starting to steal the golden goose, right, or something. That's like the whole thing.
They want
which
to
is weird.
steal eggs from the goose who laid the golden egg. Yes,
because it's like Humpty Dumpty's already an egg. Why do we have 2 eggs things in this movie? We save one of them for the next one. I don't know. It's fine.
Well, there's 0 egg things in this one. They could see the future, and they knew there would be no eggs, so they had to blow all their eggs now.
Apparently, there's lots of eggs in the news these days. I don't know. People are complaining about how much eggs cost. It's complicated. But
eggs are very expensive. But like it's like every part of this movie is just joyful for me. Like even the like quote unquote like most annoying character being the dog. Like I like the dog. I thought like the dog was like cute and warm, and I didn't think they like hit you over the head with anything. I could see how the character like might be annoying, but it also didn't lean on like any of the like easy tropes that sometimes these movies have done. And DreamWorks has like done a bunch, where it's just like, oh, it's just like a bunch of like fart jokes and low hanging fruit. Like it felt very like thoughtful. I don't know if like DreamWorks just like got better writers, but like Bad Guys was like this too, where I expected Bad Guys to be bad, but actually Bad Guys was quite good.
They shouldn't have called it that. It was
right?
wrong. They should have called it Good Guys.
Good Guys, yeah. And this movie should have been called Puss in Boots, the best perfect movie ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I loved it so fucking much. I don't know if it's the best DreamWorks movie actually. And I say that
already backing down.
Wow, too cold if you ask me.
Diggins, you have a knife to my throat, so like I am persuadable. So you know.
DJ, if you really thought this movie was that great, then having a knife to your throat wouldn't change your opinion.
You're right. It's the best Pixar. It's the
best Pixar movie. That's the problem with your prediction, DJ. You said the wrong movie would be the best Pixar movie.
Actually, if you want like a hot flamethrower scorching take, it would be like, oh, I think DreamWorks is taking the belt from Pixar for Top Dog Animation Studio.
All right, let's see them do one more really good movie before we start saying anything.
No,
we can't take back.
Also, Luca was like 2 years ago, and that was pretty good. Like, I feel like it's hard. If they had not made Luca and it was just kind of Soul, Turning Red, Lightyear, maybe it'd have a case, but I don't know. They're
Plus
still
people like Turning Red.
Yeah, but it was in Canada, so who gives a shit?
No,
you know?
If only the director wasn't fucking Canadian.
That's the problem. This director, Joel Crawford, was he Canadian? I don't know. It doesn't say. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's from Wishingville or whatever.
And I mean, let's see how that like weird fire water emotion movie turns out. Maybe that's a big
God
pile of doo-doo.
I mean, maybe it's good, but Jesus Christ, like, come on, Pixar. We're running out of things to be friends. What if fire and water? What's the next one? Like Up and Down? What are your unlikely friendships that are left, Pixar? I love you, Pixar.
Don't let them hear you say the up down thing. They will do that.
They will do it. Yeah, it'll be good, bad, or something, and it'll be like. Everybody is a word, and he's the word good, and she's the word bad. I don't know. What's that movie called?
Which one?
The
Firewater one.
Pixar Firewater one. I don't know.
What the heck is it called? Elemental. There we go. I think there's somebody I like in it, so I should give it more credit, but it's just an insane premise. It's the most Pixar, like the Dolly, or not Dolly, the name generator thingy made a Pixar movie. Great stuff.
FantasyGenerators.com.
Yeah, that's it. ChatGPT.
That's true.
All those poor Kenyans.
Just type in "make a Pixar movie" and it's like, what if fire and water decided to become friends?
Yeah, fire and water are opposites. Not usually friends in the world of water and fire, but after a brief encounter. Also, this guy is the good dinosaur guy, so we're in for a treat. Anyway, you guys. Wait, what were you saying?
I looked up Joel Crawford, hoping he would be Canadian so I could own Nando, but he is American.
Damn right.
I will say before we get to the wheel, which I know is coming next, this is the most fun I've had watching an animated movie in quite some time. And I don't care that they stole the Spider-Verse thing. Like, it's so fun. So
I
really enjoyed this. I fucking love this movie.
I
know.
To be clear, I'm not like being like, oh, they stole the Spider-Verse thing and that makes them bad. At worst, I was saying I think the motif fits a little better for Spider-Verse, but it still looks really cool here.
Well, I do like how it's like only the action scenes and like the fast stuff. It's almost like I mean, this is like a rough comparison, but like James Cameron switching the frame rates in Avatar, it's like, okay,
Oh my God.
it's, good.
You need a
I'm not great
Scoresby
to Avatar
frame rate.
except this is fucking Scoresby.
I think, and I think they do it twice here, right? There's two different Spider-Verse-y things. There's the paintbrushes and like that kind of thing, that stylization, and there's the frame rate thing. And I think the paintbrushes, I think, feel pretty natural for a movie like this.
Yes.
The frame rate thing, I agree. It feels like, if anything, it feels like they're just copying like anime or something, because they also come with those lines around the frame, which I think is good. But yeah, it is different than what Spider-Verse is going for. And John Mulaney's in that too. What is going on? Does he live in the animation booth and he's just like, I'll do it?
Well, you
Give me
see,
that
Nando,
script.
I just
Yeah.
have a very cartoony voice.
Oh man, he's
Also,
here,
I love
isn't
to
he,
cheat
DJ?
on my wife.
It's John Mulaney. I don't remember if he did that. Do we know he did that?
So it's
I
We
I
don't.
think he deserves
No.
the benefit of the doubt for being such a good voice actor in this. Now we like him again. You know?
well, he didn't like. At worst, he did something kind of shitty. He didn't do anything like really bad. Just something that kind of clashed with his image.
Diggins, you're
Also-
just jealous that he took Aaron Rodgers' girlfriend because you like Aaron Rodgers because you believe in adrenochrome and all the things that he likes now, right? That's what
You
this
love
is?
ayahuasca. You take
Yeah.
ayahuasca on the side.
This
You
was
heard him
such
on the
a-
Joe Rogan podcast and you think he's cool now.
This joke was such a journey of things I didn't know.
Oh, yeah. Aaron Rodgers and her, and yeah, he's a weird. He's such a weirdo. What happened? I mean, football probably. Getting in the head a
all
lot.
the brain
didn't help.
injuries.
Yeah.
I will say, like, and are we going by the core truth that all famous people are bad? So,
Yes.
like, that's part of it.
He's
right?
rich.
So, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, he's a bad
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Except for the ones that I like. Those guys are actually cool. Antonio Banderas is actually pretty cool. But yeah, the ones I don't like, that's more than enough for me is that they're rich.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, you guys, I got a wheel. Rich with
You got a
wheel.
wheel?
Yeah. Diggins, I spun the wheel, it landed on your thing first, so we got to get this out of the way. How long can we go without making jokes about his name?
I don't know. You guys want to make a bet? What's the first time?
I
You do
don't
a
think I
Puss in
have
Boots
any
joke?
jokes for it. I've thought about this because I saw it on the wheel, so I think I can go the whole thing.
Yeah?
We're talking about John Mulaney, right?
Yeah,
That's
of
his.
course.
Yeah,
We're talking about making fun of John Mulaney's name.
Yeah, it's a silly name.
Which,
It's a
I
name
guess-
that works for him.
I guess technically we've already lost because I talked about how the Irish control the media.
That's true. But like, yeah, I feel like John Mulaney is the name that like a little newsboy would have. You know? Do you think he got that name and just decided that's the voice I'm gonna do? That's what this will be.
Yeah, he came out of the womb going like, "Hello, mother. Hello,
Yeah.
father." And then they're like, "Your name's John Mulaney," and he was like, "Okay, then I guess it's like this now."
Yeah, exactly. I hope that's what it is. Do we think he's like a Gilbert Godfrey, where like off camera he's just like, "Hey, what's up, man? Hey, me, John Mulaney," or is he always like that?
I'm sure he plays it up.
Okay, yeah. That's why I have the same problem, and this is so off track. I don't care. With Aubrey Plaza, I really like her, but I'm like, what is she? You know? How zany is she in real life versus what is the character that she's playing in this Hot Ones interview? I don't know.
Well, apparently
I want to
she-
like her.
She was originally cast in Parks and Recreation because one of the producers met her and was like, "This girl is so bizarre, you have to cast her."
And like, that's true. I've heard that story and I believe it, but also it's like, what? I don't know. And it's like all
I
the
think-
celebrities are fake, so who gives a shit? But also, it's just confusing because she's so much of like, I'm just like the character from the show. And it's like, you can't be though, right? Maybe she
I
is.
feel like it's one of those things where it's like, it's hard to draw the line because she is like that. Like, she's not, like, making up a part of her personality, but at the same time, she plays it up because she knows that's the thing that people like about her. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's not a lie or an act per se, but she's doing more of it than she naturally would.
Yeah, it's interesting because I like her in whatchamacallit. I like her in the White Lotus show. And I like her in the new WandaVision thing that's probably going to be good, actually. So, you know, just started filming it.
Oh, you see that you say that, but you didn't have the strength of your convictions to put that in your predictions. So I know how you really feel.
It's not going to come out this year. That's why I didn't do it. It got pushed to next year.
Oh,
or at
really?
least that's what people think. Yeah, there's only 3 Marvel shows on the schedule right now. It and Echo were originally on the schedule for this year, and they haven't said it's pushed, but they haven't, like, Disney has not said it's coming out this year. So it seems like they're kind of quietly taking their time with it, which is good because that's what they should do. But yeah, I think we're getting Ironheart, Secret Invasion, and another one.
I'm not going to lie. I thought Echo and that one were next.
No, yeah. Secret Invasion's the next one. It's like in February or something, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe after Ant-Man, they'll just stop, you know? Maybe they'll go, I think we got it. Yeah.
The DCU has died, and that was actually our goal this whole time, even before the DCU existed, so we're going to shut down now.
We did it, boys.
We did it. We're going to cancel all these for tax purposes, and you guys just figure it out. I don't know. Imagine what happens. They all line up. And then Spider-Man from other movies, Wolverine's there. It's great. You know?
Yeah, actually, Hollywood is actually going to stop making movies from now on. It's just you film a movie and then you cancel it so you can write it off on your taxes.
Yeah.
That's the whole business.
Except the Dark Universe. That will never die. That's going to keep going. We're going to finally get that Frankenstein movie starring the giant man from...
Look, Russell Crowe sits by the phone every day knowing he's going to get that call.
He sits in that chair from the picture of them all together. That's his waiting for the call chair. What is the other one? It's Ironheart, Secret Invasion, Loki 2. Loki season 2 is the other one. Yeah, so those are the three we're getting this year. Toki, that's right.
It's Twoki, Diggins.
Oh, wow,
better not be.
You think it's going to be woke?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, they already did Lady Loki. What's next?
MCU, am I right?
Yeah. But you guys, speaking of things, Puss in Boots, the wheel. I'm spinning the wheel again. We'll see how long you go without making jokes about Puss in Boots' name. Because the next thing on the wheel is one of mine, which is, what is Puss in Boots? So, like, what is he? Okay. So he is how does this come up in the first movie? I'm curious because when after I watched this, I was kind of explaining it to Hannah, and I was like, kind of explaining it in terms of what the movies are, and I'm like, what the fuck? What even is this? Like, it's like a nursery rhyme, right? And it's like, no. Are you guys familiar with the story of Puss in Boots?
Yeah, it's a fairy tale.
Yeah. DJ, are you?
I actually am not. I'm learning this for the first time.
Boom. Okay.
Wait, you think they made it up for Shrek 2?
I really
You
did.
thought they made it up for the series whose whole thing was about taking existing fairy tales and making them...
They made up everything else. Why would they make this up?
They didn't make it all up, DJ. It's all
Lord
based on fairy
Farquaad's
tales.
not a real guy.
So-
I get it. Yeah.
So, all right, no. We're gonna linger on. We're gonna linger on this. All right. So, you're telling me Shrek exists in some other fairy tale?
Shrek is the one original thing. Everything else is like a fairy tale thing.
Donkey.
Talking donkeys, yes. He's not from a specific thing, but the idea of a talking donkey.
The idea of a talking donkey, like that's a thing we're going to say exists. All right, Fiona.
The idea of a princess in a tower waiting for her prince, again.
The dragon. The donkey's dragon.
The idea of the dragon guarding the princess.
The idea of, so if you mean that like Puss in Boots is like,
you keep saying the archetypes. You're forgetting about how there's the three blind mice, the big bad wolf, Pinocchio, the gingerbread man, the fairy godmother.
That breaks it.
Charming.
Yeah. No, I'm with DJ on this one.
So all of the side characters, that's true, but our main characters are just ideas of other things. So if you're saying that the idea of a talking cat has at some point existed somewhere, then sure, Puss in Boots is a fairy tale. But I'm not buying it if there was like no fairy tale of Puss in Boots.
I think that makes sense because it's like they have Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and then Fiona, and it's like the main character one is the one we created so we could sell it, and we get to do whatever we want with it. But yeah, Puss in Boots is a real thing. I mean, it's not a real thing. I mean, maybe. I don't know what France is up to.
There's a fairy tale of Puss in Boots, is what you're telling me.
France or Italy, I can't remember. One of them.
I think I think it is Spanish, which is why they did this with him.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense.
I still maintain that it's not crazy to think that a main character is just one of their... What about Kitty Softpaws? Kitty Softpaws? Is that in a fairy tale somewhere?
Is fake.
Okay, well, there you go. So it's not insane that Puss in Boots would be, something they made
the insane thing to me is that you think they would name a character Puss in Boots and that wasn't a reference to anything.
That's true. They wouldn't call him like Sword Cat or something. Or, like Johnny Cat. Why would they go Puss in Boots? Yeah, that's true. But before we get into what it actually is, DJ, just for like a minute, what do you think the story of Puss in Boots is?
All right. Well, if I think that they're adapting the like what I know from the movie, I'm going to say that a woman who, let's say she's some kind of magic woman, she's alone because her, I don't know, let's say husband and kids are dead. So she asks for new family, and a witch is like, here are some magical boots, and you give the magical boots to your cat, and then you'll have a companion. And she's like, okay. She gives the boots to the cat, and the cat's like, I am your companion now. But he goes to be an adventurer. So despite her getting her wish, she winds up lonely because the cat abandons her to do sword fighting.
We've watched too many Pinocchio movies this year. Just can't think of a fairy tale movie without accidentally doing Pinocchio. They gotta stop making them movies.
Everything is Pinocchio. And I've only seen 2 of the 3 Pinocchios.
Yeah,
so,
and this one has Pinocchio. We can't forget. Very good Pinocchio
That's
appearance
true.
here.
It does have Pinocchio.
Yep. So you're
How close am I?
100% wrong. It's weirder than that. It's basically there's a guy who owns like a dad, and he has 3 kids, and he owns a whole farm and stuff. And there's 3. He dies, and they all inherit something. So the kid that's the coolest gets the farm. The kid that's second coolest gets like the cart and the mule or something. And the kid that's the third coolest gets a cat. And he's like, I don't give a shit. What am I going to do with this cat? And the cat's like, I'm Antonio Banderas, and I'm actually sick. So what we do is we'll put me in boots and use me to trick people and stuff. And it's all a story about how you should trick people. And the story, what actually happens is like there's a king, and he tricks the king into thinking he basically does an Aladdin, and eventually ends up being the king of the whole city by Puss in Bootsing his way up the ladder. It's pretty wild. Yeah, and the boots are just kind of incidental.
And the moral is hustling is good?
Yes.
Hustle culture good.
Hustle grind set, yep. That's Puss in Boots is the original. That's why The Rock can't do anything right. He should be doing this.
Actually, like the 2 morals given are one stresses the importance of possessing industry and savoir-faire, while the other extols the virtues of dress, continence, and youth to win the heart of a princess. And the Italian translation notes that the tale gives useful advice if you happen to be a cat or a Marquis of Carabas.
Yeah, so it is Italy then, or
it is Italy. Yes, I was wrong.
Yeah. That's why I knew it was something else. I don't know why I thought it was France. Probably because I thought he could get away with that hat in France. But he kind of looks like a 3 Musketeer in this too. Like Puss in Boots, the one we have in this movie is all over the place in terms of like his deal.
The moral of Puss in Boots is actually the same thing that I always stress in my life, which is that you can solve anything with enough lying.
Yeah, I think we're seeing it happen in live right now. Puss in Boots was a drag queen in Brazil secretly, probably, right? Like, this is a Puss in Boots scenario. He watched the first one, probably, where they said all this stuff, and he took that to heart. Took 10, 12 years off and just did it.
If this was Shrek 3, we would have gotten that joke.
Yeah, we would. Oh, my God, we really would have. They were pretty good about that in this movie. But okay, so that's what Puss in Boots is in the fairy tale.
So you asked that question as a wheel trunk to like fool me?
No,
because you know what Puss in Boots is.
I'm asking the question to ask in this universe, what is he? Because he's Zorro, but also it seems like he just kind of he doesn't seem like Zorro from what I remember in the movies and just like the general Zorro. He's like Batman kind of. He like fights the bad people and protects the city like Robin Hood, like you were saying. Puss in Boots doesn't seem to have that, like, morality or anything in the middle. He just seems like he's kind of doing it, and he keeps ending up doing that because he just has big parties and stuff. And I couldn't remember in Shrek 2 what his deal was. Why is he part of it, besides they find him?
He is hired as a bounty hunter by the fairy godmother to kill Shrek. Because another portion of the fairy tale is that Puss in Boots kills an ogre so that he can steal the ogre's castle and pretend it's his master's.
Right. Have I even seen Shrek 2? If I think of it, I don't remember this at all. But wait, so... Yeah, and then he befriends them?
Yeah, Puss in Boots first shows up because he attacks Shrek and Donkey and tries to kill them, but they beat him, and then he gives them the big kitty eyes, and they're like, oh, I guess we're not going to kill him.
How did they beat him?
I don't remember. It's been a long time.
Beats him up.
Bullshit, honestly.
Shrek is incredible.
That's true. Shrek is like immortal.
But then Puss in Boots is like, oh, you spared my life, so I will help you. And he just becomes like, oh.
Okay. So yeah, I feel like he does feel more like a bounty hunter because he gets the same introduction the bounty hunters and thieves get with that like little like wanted symbol. But yeah, I guess I just wondered, like, especially as someone who didn't see the most recent one, like the first one, hasn't watched the show obviously, and doesn't quite remember his deal in the last one.
Show?
Yeah, we talked about it. It's like it's on Netflix. There's like 6 seasons of it. It's people like it. It's probably fine.
Oh, I thought it was like the movie. Okay.
No, yeah, so I don't know, it's just like a cartoon. It doesn't look as cool, but it exists.
I mean, I should be surprised. It's like a Boss Baby cartoon. Like,
well, yeah, exactly. Or the How to Train Your Dragon or the Kung Fu Panda cartoon.
That's
None
true.
of them
All
saying
those
any of them are
cartoons.
bad. They might be
What
cool,
the
but they
hell?
do just exist, and like Diggins was saying before, you just hear about them 8 years later, and it's like, yeah, they did 200 episodes. But they have, like, and it's not, none of these guys are in it. Like, it's, like sound-alikes, I assume. But,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's canon. But, yeah, I just wonder, going into this movie, like, I do think we are just supposed to go, he's fucking Zorro, whatever. Don't ask questions. He does Zorro stuff, and that's it. And I appreciate that, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like the opening scene just tells us all we need to know, right?
It
He
does.
goes around gallivanting, and
He's our favorite fearless hero.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
my question for that, why this became a question for me, is like, what does he want? Or like, besides being famous, does he have any goals or morals or some sort of code?
just think he wants to be loved so much.
Right. So he is just like a, Booster Gold type who just wants fame and fortune and happens to be good at sword fighting. And he knows that by doing this, he can get that.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Like, he doesn't need to be, Robin Hood or have, he doesn't need to be Batman. But
I mean, he is giving away the governor's money to the people, so he's sort of Robin Hood-esque.
yeah, it's all in there. Robin Hood's a bounty hunter in the Shrekiverse too, right?
He's kind of a dick.
He's just a random thief. Like, he just shows
that's
up
right.
to
He's
try
just in the
to
forest.
save Fiona from Shrek because he misunderstands the situation.
Right. Is he dead?
Did
they kill him?
No,
Fiona kicks the shit
Yeah,
out of him.
Yeah, he might
in
be
a
dead.
Matrix parody, Fiona beats him up. I don't think he dies, though.
Oh, I forgot they did the Matrix
They did
parody.
the Matrix
Ugh.
parody. She adjusts her crown and everything. Yeah,
Still cringe.
it worked. All right. I got another question. Another thing on the wheel. So what's the deal with cats? What is a cat in this universe? How is
Cats
Puss
2019?
So-
different? Yeah. Honestly, this is kind of Cats 2019, where it's like the cats all have. He is a talking cat, and I get in universe that is what it is. The 9 lives thing does not seem like something everyone knows. There are characters that it needs to be kind of explained to, mostly the dog.
The dog is also stupid.
Yeah,
and
he's
also
kind of-
is
yeah.
Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows.
I know. Thank God. There were 2 characters in here that better not be James Corden, and it wasn't. To check, you don't know the look on my face when I got to the credits, and it wasn't James Corden. Not this one, the other one.
Let me try. Oh, you're Puss in Boots. I love Puss in Boots. Oh, he's my favorite. You're with the friendship gang. Oh, we're the best friends. We hang out.
You take this fucking suit back, or I'll fucking get you fired. That's what he says.
Wow,
That's the classic
James
James
Corden.
Corden.
When did you
line.
get here?
I've always been here, but I hate everything, so I'm quiet, and I'm leaving because, I don't know, I gotta go do a talk. Does he still have a talk show? Do I still have a talk show? Did I get canceled? Did me and Ellen in jail or hell or wherever we go when we're done? Dakota Johnson, the dungeon in Dakota Johnson's house.
I know he was leaving. I'm not sure if he has already left or not.
Right? He might still be going.
Set to end mid 2023.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
you
this
guys,
broke
something to
me.
look forward to. But yeah.
Well, thanks for stopping by, though, James Corden, even though you're still very busy on your late night talk show.
Cheerio. That's what I would say. As a Brit, I am. And well, what else? Watch Cats 2 in theaters now soon. It's mostly me and my butthole. I'm gonna do the butthole
It's just
this
Buster
time.
for
We're doing it.
Jones. The
Yep.
whole movie's Buster for
It's an origin story. Buster's last wish. I don't know where we got the idea, but it's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be better than the first one.
Buster's Last Wish will be the sequel to the prequel, which is just Buster for Jones.
Right, yeah. Of course, yes. That one came on Netflix last year. Did you not see it? Oh, you're behind. You're one behind on your cats movies.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't believe I missed that. I'll have to check it out.
Your cats movies.
Your cats movies. That's a little joke we say in the England. Anyway, goodbye.
So, joke we say in England is to pretend to have New Zealand accents.
That's right. He watched Avatar and he fell in love with Scoresby like I did. I don't know if he's from New Zealand. I think he's probably Australian, but
same thing, right?
I mean,
no one gets offended on the difference.
Don't let a Kiwi hear you say that.
It might as well be Canada, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, in the sense, it's probably a better place to live than here. You guys, yeah. So he's a cat. The 9 lives thing. What is that? All cats have that?
Yeah, all cats have 9 lives.
Yeah, all cats have 9 lives.
So, like Kitty Softpaws, do you think she's on like live 1?
Yeah.
Oh, she's definitely died at least once.
Mm-hmm. Do you think she? So, if is Puss in Boots like ancient? Is he an old man in a little kitty body?
He's very reckless with his lives.
Yeah, it seems like he has not spread out his deaths very effectively.
He died baking cookies, like.
Right, with the gingerbread man, so we know. Well, I guess he could have met him before Shrek 2.
I don't recall if we see them talk as if they were old friends or not, or if we see them introduce each other.
Remember when there's a joke Pinocchio wears a thong in those movies?
I do. Yeah. I referenced it last time we talked about it.
Yeah, must be why I thought about it. They age pretty weird. Remember when there's a joke about how many Starbuckses there are? They go from one Starbucks to the Starbucks across the street.
They were so accurate about that.
Yep. Finger on the pulse. Thank God. What would it have been here? NFTs or something? Like
there would have been some TikTok joke. Like,
yeah.
The new Far Away app.
Oh, there would have been a TikTok dance in here for sure.
It would have been like the 3 Blind Mice or something. Yeah. Some nursery rhyme that goes TikTok would have been like, oh man, they're blowing up on TikTok, and then it was the 3 Blind Mice running up the friggin' clock or whatever.
The Hickory Dickory Dock, yeah. I think those are different mice. There's a lot of mice in fairy tales. You know, there's like Cinderella's mice, the 3 blind mice, the mouse and the clock.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, the Hickory Dickory Dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock.
Place is lousy with mice.
It's a different mouse.
Yeah. Or it could have been the same. You know, it could have been one of them. They never said if he was blind or not. So, we never know. He'll probably be the bad guy in the next one. The lives thing, though. So, Puss doesn't care about his lives. He's reckless with his lives.
Yeah. He's like 9. That number is like infinity, right?
Yeah. I feel like...
He also can't count. He might think 9 is like, you have infinite lives.
Do you think he got too many concussions and like doesn't know numbers too good?
Does CTE transfer from life to life?
Yeah.
Like, also,
that's a good question.
When you get a new life, are you the age that you were when you died, or is it like a little soft reset?
No, yeah, I think it compounds because he didn't, you know, he looks the same from 8 to 9, as far as we know.
Yeah.
So that would be really weird if he was born and like the whole movie Antonio Banderas was like, I'm a little baby. You know, like just doing a little baby voice. That would be bad.
I feel like maybe if you die... I think it's like D&D rules. If you die of old age or natural causes, you can't come back. But any like accidental death, you have 9 of.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, interesting.
That's
so, like,
good.
if you're about to die of old age, should you just go ham doing, like, a ton of heroin and just, like, jumping off bridges and shit?
I guess, yeah. If you're a cat.
If you're a cat
or
and
a person, why not?
Do we think Puss experiences his deaths? Like,
it doesn't seem like it because he, like, isn't aware of, like, what happened.
He doesn't seem to care. Like,
yeah, right?
I get not caring about, like, oh, I didn't die. But, like, he, like, plenty of these, he, like, choked to death. Or I'm assuming had some pretty slow deaths.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Whatever.
Dying slowly, not able to breathe due to an allergic reaction to shellfish seems pretty bad.
He got his windpipe cracked by that, like, the weight. He fell off a building once. Like, that one probably killed him instantly. But there's a couple where it's like, I don't know. He probably...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a long death. Gas stoves, though, you know? Shouldn't have them. They get Puss in Boots, and they're not good.
If he had an electric stove, it would have been fine.
Would have been okay. His movie wouldn't have happened, so maybe we do need them to make our Puss in Bootses value their lives.
Yeah, he would have been crushed by the bell, and it would have been like, you're on your 8th life. And he's like, that sounds fine.
Yeah. I'm going to go do whatever it is I do. A boat, maybe. Speaking of Puss in Boots, I spun the wheel again. Lands on one of Diggins' Goldilocks talking to 3 smoking bears. Let's talk about the 3 bears.
So they're all Guy Ritchie characters.
Wait, what's that?
They all talk like this.
Oh.
And we're like, oh, we're going to be a crime family.
Oh my God! Is
You
it
got crimed.
who's in those? Jason Statham and
Hello, Governor.
some other one.
It's
Who
me,
does show
Jason
up?
Statham.
Jason
Jason
Statham. Where have you
Jason
been?
Statham.
How are you not in plane, Jason Statham?
Yeah,
You know,
that's like a movie made for
I
you.
asked myself that very question, didn't I?
You deserve it. I feel like
feel
you
like-
got to be in
I
plane
called up
too.
me agent. I heard the other day they were saying they're making a movie called Plane, and I was like, "Oh, that can't be true," because I haven't heard nothing from the agent about going to film for that particular film. And I called up my agent and I said, "I hear they're making a movie called Plane. So have you negotiated my contract yet?" And my agent said, "Actually, they're going for you in this one." And I was like, "Are you kidding me? I'm Jason Statham.
Are you having a piss?
Are you having a laugh?"
Oh my God! How about Jason Statham? What can you tell me about Operation Fortune: Ruse de Guerre, a movie that is directed by Guy Ritchie and stars you? It came out already, apparently.
Right, yes. Of course, I know everything
the
about
fuck?
that movie. Because
Aubrey
I was
Plaza's
in
in
it.
this too. What? This isn't a movie. Someone's
Full
doing a
circle,
30
baby.
Rock and they made a fake movie as a joke and they left it up. This came out in January 13th in Turkey. What?
Yeah, so we did that one as a tax write-off, actually.
What the
Sounds like it.
Wait, the Aubrey Plaza, not like Turkish Aubrey Plaza?
As far as I know, I mean, there is a U.S. name for it, like an AKA, but it does not have a U.S. release date. It has a release date in Spain and like UAE and Cyprus, Chechnya, but not America. It stars Jason Statham, Aubrey Plaza, Carrie Elwes, Hugh Grant, and Josh Hartnett.
Oh, it's coming out.
insane.
It's come out in March, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Oh, very good.
It came out.
Are you here to plug your movie, Jason Statham?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I came on the podcast, fellas, because I want to talk about Operation Fortune Ruse de Guerre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's
What can you tell us about
It's
it?
my new movie with Guy Ritchie, isn't it?
It is. It looks. I'm reading
All right,
the IMDb
what else can
summary.
you
It
tell
looks,
us about
looks
it?
kind of
Well, it's
fun,
a-
but you tell me why.
What I'm telling you now is it's a sport action comedy film.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got me in it, of course. It's got Aubrey Plaza. It's got Josh Hartnett. It's got your favourite, Carrie Elwes. You remember him
Yep.
from Princess Bride?
And Saw.
Yeah, I saw. A good bloke that. We had quite a laugh together on a set of Ruse de Guerre. Yeah, it's going to be a really good time. I'm going to be there doing my Jason Statham thing, where I'll speak with a little accent and I'll do big action scenes. And also, it's because it's a comedy. There'll be a bit of a laugh.
It's like Spy.
bit of a laugh.
You love
Bit of a
those.
laugh.
I think so. It seems like this movie is kind of like you have to recruit an actor to sneak in to do spy stuff, and Josh Hartnett is that.
Right,
Aubrey
that's
Plaza's
exactly
there, too.
what I was getting at.
Yeah.
That's the plot of the movie, isn't it?
Do you know what your name is in this movie?
Something Hargreaves.
It's Orson Fortune.
Orson Fortune. Well, isn't that something?
That's like
yeah.
the third weirdest name of your character you have this year, because you're also Lee Christmas in The Expendables 4. Again, make more of those.
Getting one?
Yep.
We're getting a fourth
That's
one.
right.
what
I
it
bet you were
says.
thinking that was just a weird artifact of the early 2010s, wasn't it? And probably all those action stars are a little too old to still be doing that. But you'd be friggin' wrong, Buster.
I don't know. I saw Sly Stallone in the Hunter. Whatever the
Yeah.
fuck that movie
That
was.
lazy superhero movie or something
Right.
else?
Well,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you saw that one, you would notice that he wasn't really doing much, was he? He was really conserving his energy on that one.
Yeah, that's
What
smart.
was the name of that fucking movie?
Samaritan.
The Samaritan. I was gonna say The Guardian. But
It's not the Samaritan, it's just Samaritan, isn't
It's
it?
just Samaritan, yeah. It's cleaner. Also, Antonio Banderas was in Expendables 3.
Well, good for
I knew
him.
I remembered that
You
he
know,
was
he's
in it.
not as
and he
much
is.
of an action fellow as me and the other blokes, but, you know, he's still a good lad.
Yeah.
Are they bringing back Bruce Lee?
Probably not.
He's been dead for several
Yeah, I don't know if
decades
they
now,
can.
So that'd be pretty difficult.
It's pretty hard,
Wait,
but
no, he was in the first one.
I really don't think that's true. A man who died in the 70s?
who do you think it... Brandon Lee? He's also dead. Who... The first one.
Oh, Jet Li?
Oh, Jet Li. Yeah,
Jet Li is that's also of a different color, isn't it?
I don't know if he's in it.
Bruce
Actually,
Lee, Jet Li. You know,
similar
Oh,
names.
it's pretty racist, isn't it?
No, not racism. A simple misunderstanding.
The man's
know,
name
I don't
is
know.
Lee.
It's like you confuse like different Chapmans. You know,
That's
there's,
right.
Like,
You,
Bruce-
Mark David. Yeah, the two. No, yeah, it seems like
Araldus. You know, there's. Freaking
that's
a lot.
right. It seems like this movie has different martial arts stars. It's got Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais, who we all know and love from Snake Eyes.
Obviously.
He's in there. He was like one of the guys in there.
But yeah.
it's
Anyway,
from-
I just wanted
it's
to
from the
pop
raid.
in to say that I think Florence Pugh and
Oh, ew, that was gross.
and
That's how
Olivia
you're supposed to
Colman
say it.
and Ray Winstone and Sam O'Kay. Is
The
that all?
Pirates one, yeah, from the Pirate Show.
I think all of them did a really great job capturing the energy of the Guy Ritchie films I'm always in and I'm so fond of.
Do you
I'm
think?
sad you weren't in this movie.
Yeah.
I think they should have called me. I think I'm desperate enough that I probably would have said yes.
Who are you going to be in if they make a second one or another Shrek or whatever? What fairy tale character have you always wanted to play?
Oh, that's a great question, Nando. Let's see. Well, first of all, it's got to be a fairy tale character that they haven't done in one of these Shrek movies, right? Because they
Yeah,
already
nobody
got
can
running
remember
out.
what is in them apparently. So
Right,
I don't know
yeah.
what is and isn't on
'Cause-
the table.
Personally, I would have loved to be the gingerbread man, but they've already got a gingerbread man, haven't they?
He is bald, just like you. Yeah, it would have been
Yeah,
perfect.
just like me. He's bald. So I think I'd probably be some sort of villain. I like to be a sort of villain man, or at least an anti-hero. So I'll probably be like what's it called? Fuck.
I'm trying to think of one too. The Big Bad Wolf has already been in
Big
it.
Bad Wolf's already in it. I was thinking that as well, but no, he's already in it.
It's like a fairy tale guy, a giant. They did that in the last one of these.
You could be the hair from the Tortoise and the Hare. Is that
No, I'm
True.
not sure it's really my style, is it? He's not violent enough.
Maybe you could be
guy.
Frozen. Why don't you be Elsa? They'll probably do that, you know.
Elsa, the Ice Queen.
Yeah.
I could be Ice Queen.
Ooh, you know who we
something.
haven't gotten yet? I don't think in universe is Geppetto. You could be a good Geppetto.
I could
You
be
could take a shot at
Pinocchio's
that.
little daddy.
Yeah.
What about the
Give him his
the
song.
witch who eats Hansel and Gretel? What about her? Is she on the table?
I think she was already in the third one, I think.
Yeah, it's
man,
tough because
really
there's a
confused
bunch
all
of
that.
witches in the third one as
Yeah.
like enforcer villains, but also I feel like they've also done the house, but I can't remember when, so maybe not.
They've done that what?
Like the house made of candy. I feel like that fits in one of these,
Right.
but I don't remember.
I don't recall either. I would
Yeah.
say Rumpelstiltskin, but he's also been in them. They've
Yep.
just done all the dang fairy tales, haven't they?
They really have. That's why they stopped for so long. Someone told them like there was just a day where somebody in the DreamWorks was like, "Oh, Goldilocks," and then they went, "Oh shit, we can make another one," and then they scrolled all that down. Can we do Big Bad Wolf again? Sure, whatever. It doesn't matter. We have one.
I would be a spider who scares little Miss Muffet.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, that'd be clever and charming.
that's true. You'd be a good spider.
I think so.
Cool. Anything? Any secrets you could tell me about the Meg 2: Cold in the Trench? It's coming out later this year too.
Oh
Yeah.
we got another movie.
More
for you.
Meg
Yeah,
time.
for sure. It's going to turn out it's not a shark this time.
What?
Yeah,
What is it?
We're going to think it's a big shark, but actually it is Poseidon, god of the ocean. It's a big naked man.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's
Would
a
you
little
fight it?
ding dong. It's going to be floating around in the sea, and we're going to be like, that's a big old penis, isn't it?
Oh.
Jason Sanders, one more thing before you go. So we'll probably do the Meg 2 on this podcast since we did the Meg 1.
Right.
Would it be possible, and, I'm sure Diggins would be okay with it. He's not here right now, so we just let him, rubber stamp everything yes when he's not here. Would you be willing to come on the podcast for the entire show while we review the movie?
Right, I see. I've got a pretty busy schedule,
Yeah,
DJ, so I'm not sure I can
Jason,
commit.
come
I
on.
don't know
Promoting
I
it.
can commit to anything like that. I'm going to be doing a press tour all over China. When
I was going to say, yeah, China's pretty far.
Yeah, I'm going to be.
You can zoom from China.
Yeah, but
Come
it's
on,
got to be
Jason.
like 3 a.m. or something when you start recording.
we'll
it'll probably be
accommodate.
like 8 a.m. So it'll actually be a pretty normal time for me when you guys
Yeah.
start recording. But But I'll be right before I go on my press junket to talk to all the press in Beijing and whatnot.
Oh, we'll accommodate. Just say yes, Jason. Come on,
Well,
just say yes. Say
listen,
yes.
no, I can't make any promises. I promised my agent that I would stop promising random podcasts that I would guest on and to talk about my movies.
I understand.
That's fair.
Well, think about it, okay? Just think about it.
Or
Yeah.
I'll have my agent get in touch with you. He'll let you know
Great.
what I can manage.
All right, thank you so much. And tell Bruce Lee I
Awesome.
say hi.
Okay, well, I'm not dead, so it's going to take a while.
Well, you know,
You could
do what
pray
you
to
gotta
him.
do.
I don't know. Do a seance.
Yeah.
There's options. You know.
If you can't come on the podcast, tell Bruce Lee I said hi. Like,
All right,
Jesus,
so, all right,
Figure it
it's
out.
from you, I've got to tell Bruce Lee, and from Quentin Tarantino, I've got to tell him that he's an asshole and he hates him.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
Dumb loser who can't even punch. So
Right.
you got a lot of things to say. Well, thank you so much, Jason.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is a treat.
All right. Well, see you later, gents.
Yeah.
See ya. Oh, what a gentleman. That
forget.
was so great.
How did that even come up? Were you talking
We were
about?
talking about
Guy Ritchie,
Goldilocks.
Goldie Bears.
Oh yeah,
Oh, Diggins,
Goldilocks,
you're back.
right?
I was
yeah.
here the whole time. I was just so awestruck by the presence of Jason Statham on this very podcast. The weird thing is, unlike our usual guests, he didn't like break into one of our houses and steal the mic or whatever. He actually just directly patched into the feed from somewhere from a fourth location.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
I like the other bit better.
I think it's good when he does this because then, you should be able to talk hypothetically. You are not you're not like tied up in the closet. So.
Yeah, that's true.
You can throw
yeah,
in
so
your
why
2
didn't
cents
you
next
talk?
time.
I told
Just
you.
awestruck?
He said
I
he
told
was
you, I was
awestruck,
just so
but-
awestruck. Yeah. Next time, if Jason Statham ever comes back, I promise I will say something to him.
You guys will sing a song together probably while one of you drinks a glass of water.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that'd be so great.
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, something
you-
like that.
You guys, where are we going with this? Oh yeah, so the Three Bears. They're fun.
Yeah, I like that we had other players like looking for the last wish. I think it makes the movie like a little more interesting and as the chase happens. But goddamn, like it was so like so these characters are great. The dynamic is awesome. But like I fucking so when so Goldie's thing right is that she wants a real family because she's been adopted by the bears that she like broke into their house. And they're like, you're our family now. And it's very heartwarming. So they're like a crime syndicate, which is cute and fun.
A crime
And-
family, DJ.
Crime family. Yes. Crime family. And Goldie's like the ringleader, and like we're gonna get this last wish. It's gonna be so fucking dope. And they're like, "What's the wish, Goldie?" And she's like, "That's for me to know and you to find out." And they implicitly trust her. But then they find out that her wish is to have a real family, and it's like, "Oh my god, that's so sad. She's betraying the family." But the mom is such a champion. She's like, "Goldie, if that'll make you happy, then we'll do it." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like characters that are cool and just like like that's what a mom would do. She's like a good mom. I was like, "Oh man, I fucking cried." It was like the most heartwarming part of the movie. I love that
Do you
so
think
much.
that Olivia Colman should have won an Oscar for her performance here instead of in The Favorite?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the favorite one was pretty overblown. Although we got one of like not like best Oscar speeches ever, but like an Oscar speech where she was dumbfounded was pretty fun. So like we got that at least.
is her first movie like Hot Fuzz or something like that? She's had such a short
no.
career.
She was actually pretty involved in British stuff before
Like
she like
TV.
kind of became popular here. Yeah, TV. Like she was in that Mitchell and Webb look. She was a pretty good big character. Not that one. No, sorry. What's the other one that they did?
You're talking Peep Show,
I'm talking about Peep Show. That's right.
but yeah, I think Hot Fuzz might have been her first like movie.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Was she in Hot Fuzz?
she's one of the guys, one of the cops.
Okay.
She's the one that they make sex jokes at, and that's the whole deal.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
She's like, it's so weird because, yeah, it's her, Game of Thrones guy, Pierce Brosnan. Well, no, not Pierce Brosnan, the other one, that evil man,
Timothy Dalton.
Everyone's favorite guy, Nazi, and we all know what that means, so we're not going to explain it. And the big guy from the Hound from Game of Thrones. Like, there's just so many guys in there that's like, oh yeah, that's him. Anyway, Olivia Colman's cool.
Yeah.
Did
you recognize immediately Florence Pugh? Because she was the one actor I couldn't place.
I did not.
Yeah,
Probably
me
because in most of the time we don't have her talk with her actual accent.
Yeah.
Not that this
and
is
I
her
don't watch
real accent
TikToks
either,
or
but it's
whatever.
closer because it's British.
Yeah. What do you think she liked more this year? This or the movie where she spit on people or whatever happened? I forgot. Probably this, right? Is this the highlight of her year?
I think being involved in Don't Worry Darling probably would have made anybody's year.
That's true.
Yeah, you get to experience this shit show. That must have been so fun every day.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she's good in that. She's good in general. I like her. I do think she is like, she's one of those actors who's kind of everywhere. you know? And it's like...
Yeah, has she hit, like, oversaturation, overutilization point yet?
That's the thing. I think she's good, so it's fine. But, like, I mean, we'll see with these Marvel things. If she does too many of them in a row and we get tired of her, that might be it. But that's the fun of it. If she does serious movies and does a good accent, and then she goes to Marvel and does what she's doing in those, and it's fun because she's, like, having a ball. And, you know, and she's in the second Dune movie. She's in Oppenheimer. Jesus Christ. She's going to have a year.
Yeah, she's
going to
be
oversaturation.
She's going to be the Princess Irulan.
Yeah.
Wait till we turn on her. We always turn.
I will never turn on Florence Pugh.
Okay.
I hope not. That's what you all said about John Mulaney last week, and look where we are now. Yeah. And James Corden the week before. Turncoats.
When you say Florence Pugh, it sounds like you're, like, vomiting up a hairball, like, or you're being, like, punched in the larynx mid-Pew.
I'm just saying the proper British pronunciation of her name.
I don't know. Sounds like you're being punched in the larynx.
No,
do you think
just how you say it?
Oh, and she's not with Zach Braff anymore, right? Or I think they split up.
They were together?
Yeah, it was a whole weird thing because he's way older than her. Yeah, I know. But I wonder if he called her like, hey, Florence Pug, or whatever. Or like if he did the British pronunciation.
And she's like, nope.
Because he's just too kind of like, I don't know, American. I don't see him doing it.
That's our biggest complaint about Zach Braff. Too American.
Too American, yeah. You guys, what else about the Bears? Bears are scary, you know?
Yeah.
Bears are fucking like little monsters. It's weird that there are bears, you know?
I think this is a great take on the Bears. I do agree that the just right was, the first time would have been at the end, would have been perfect. That was probably overdone, but I really like these characters. I think they add like a good amount to the story.
Like,
I liked the joke of them not talking in their first appearance, so you think that Goldilocks really does just shepherd three bears, and then they start going, "What is it?" And you're like, they got the silly British voice. That's fun.
Now that I'm thinking about it, they never should have said the just right. They shouldn't have said any of that stuff and just did it. Because they always, like the bed was, one of them was too soft and one of them was, the ice was too cold and stuff. Those jokes were, I mean, it's a kid's movie, so what are you going to do? But yeah, I did like them. They are completely incidental to the plot. You write them right out of the movie, it would barely make a difference. But that's okay.
Right, but it's part of how this movie benefits from everybody's like desires are centered around this one object that reflects on them. Because it's like you can have a character like this, and it doesn't feel like they're taking away from the movie because it's all woven into the larger narrative of this wishing star. So like it all feels like it's purposeful.
And getting to see her arc realized, like, when she decides that the family she has is better than some, like, theoretical family, is, like, genuinely heartwarming. Like, I feel like her stuff feels earned, and they're just like, we're gonna put another fucking fairy tale so we can make a dumb joke. Like, I feel like everything they do with Goldilocks and the Three Bears is very earned, so, yeah, it was really good.
She's a stick. Is that part of her deal? It's like a stick weapon, like a gambit type? I don't remember that.
Cool.
I don't know.
It is cool. It's very cool.
There was a split second in the trailer where because she had that stick, I was like, oh, it's Little Bo Peep. And then there were bears, and I was like, no, never mind. Not that.
I had the same thought. And maybe she's been in these already, and I just can't keep track.
No, you're thinking of Toy Story.
That's true. So Jason Statham could be Little Bo Peep in the next one. Someone should tell him next time he's on.
Ooh. Call him back. Let him know.
I'm sure he'll hear this. He listens.
Yeah.
I spun the wheel again, you guys. It landed on one of mine. This is a question. It's just, what's the best magical weapon that Jack has? Which one is the best one?
I mean, it's got to be the baby unicorn horn crossbow, right? It explodes people.
Well, yeah, but the sight's not good, so you always miss and kill all your own dudes.
Oh, that was his excuse. Their sights were fine.
I don't know. Feel like...
What, you think Jack Horner would lie?
Yeah.
Come on.
Why would he lie? He's cool. I do feel like you could get a lot done with the Midas hand if you just tossed it at guys. You know?
But you have to be careful to never touch it.
Yeah. What if you had gloves on?
The gloves would turn to gold, and then you can't get your hand out.
Gold's pretty malleable. Like, if it were thin gloves, you could definitely...
it's, like, hot...
Nah, work it. I think you could get out of golden gloves.
Another thing Nando could beat.
Just saying.
Gold.
What if you put like
the Midas touch?
Yeah, put a baseball mitt on or something and use that to toss it.
If Big Jack Horner was bearing down on you with the Midas touch hand, do you think you could win?
No, I'm saying, well, no, he's too big. I would have trouble. I don't know. I think I would accidentally touch it. I do. But that doesn't stop him from doing it. I think he would still try. But also, the Midas touch, that's not a fairy tale. That's not any of these things. It's not like a...
Kinda.
What is it?
If Aesop's Fables count, I think Midas touch counts.
Okay.
Although, how long before we get, like, biblical with it?
Right,
We get,
yeah.
like, Solomon.
King Solomon, wisdom of... Yeah, we're going to do that. It's a Greek myth, apparently. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very old Greek myth.
Yeah, we could get some of those guys in. Maybe Hercules is the next one.
I think to answer your question, though, Nando, I think the Alice in Wonderland, like the food stuff that makes them grow powers are always the best.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But it's a one-time use, though. You use it,
Yeah.
and then, like, eventually you got to get small again just to live your life, and then that's it. You can never do it again.
Or you could just be big guy now.
Be big man.
Yeah. Also, what if you ate just a little bit? Would you get a little bit bigger, or would you get big for a shorter amount of time?
I do not know what the rules
Split
are.
the cookie up, and then you just be 8 feet tall for some time. Be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm trying to think. He has like a staff he uses a lot. That's fine. Phoenix flamethrower is pretty good. It's also a bird he can fly on, so that's pretty handy.
Really good.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the Phoenix is also a sentient, like, living being who doesn't like him, so that's,
Yeah.
like, asking to have it backfire on you.
How about the Eye of Sauron? That one's pretty good. Or whatever the thing is.
You mean the crystal ball that he uses to scry on them?
Yeah, to scry. That's exactly it. Yeah. I don't know. He had like hand grenades. Those weren't that great.
Those are poison apples from Snow White.
How do we feel about the conscience?
Oh, you mean Jiminy Cricket?
Is that Mickey Mouse?
Legally distinct Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
true. He never says Jiminy Cricket.
It doesn't.
And
He
the
is-
concept of a cricket as your conscience can't be copyrighted because that is in the original Pinocchio. He's just not called Jiminy Cricket.
Well, and did you see what his name is in the credits? Because I was curious. 'Cause I thought it was Jim Gaffigan. I was kind of waiting around to see. It's not. It's just some guy. But his name is Morality Bug. That's what that character is called.
Morality
So.
Bug.
Yep, Morality Bug.
Ambush Bug's cousin.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's related to Ambush Bug, and he's equally annoying to everybody, and like that, he's got the same vibe. I like how he killed the guy. Is this the most kills Jiminy Cricket type has ever gotten on screen? One?
Does he kill anyone in the Guillermo del Toro one? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. No, and I don't think the one in the cartoon, like the Disney one, does the new one. Although I could see
I
him
don't think
doing
he
that
does.
because he's a bad person, monster.
Well, it depends on if our backstory for him is true or not. If he's, trying to draft or trying to get out of the U.S. after his side loses the Civil War.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Like if he
so that
served in
is
the
it.
Confederate Army, he definitely killed some people.
So yeah, this probably isn't the most deadly one, but he's up there. Yeah. Trying to remember, did Jack have anything else? That was probably most of it. He had some other stuff just sitting around, like the Cinderella shoe. Like
He like threw a bunch of stuff around. He had a trident that I'm not sure was
Yeah.
anything particularly magical.
I guess it's Poseidon's trident since Greek stuff's in play.
I guess.
I would imagine that's what it's going for. And then he had the lost ship of some little guys from, I'm assuming, Gulliver's Travels or something.
Yeah, the Lilliputians. That's Gulliver Travels.
So yeah, those guys. Yeah. I like the idea that he did this. Like, there's a character who's just snatching up all these magical items.
Yeah, that was a fun conceit.
Well, because he's mad because he's not magical.
Exactly. And that
I mean,
gets into my
really,
next...
when you get right down to it, the best magical item he had was the one who made it all possible, Mary Poppins' bag.
That's true. The bag was pretty good.
Yeah, it's true.
And I was going to say this.
Although it was his demise, so you have to wonder.
Well, it wasn't his demise. It was his first fake demise. But then...
Right, true.
Or was that where the star went? Did it collapse into the black hole bag and then just like... Yeah, what did happen there?
Well, I mean, when a star collapses in on itself, it does become a black hole, so I think it was just that.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I was going to say this gets to the next wheel slice because I spun it. It gets to this is all Pinocchio's fault. So this movie is all Pinocchio's
That's
fault.
true.
Yeah, that's true.
I did like that cameo a lot because it's pretty funny. I don't think you need to compete. You're selling food. He's a show. You could be the same.
That's fair.
But
part.
he was trying to sell his food by putting on a show.
Yeah.
And that was his fatal flaw. If he was just selling pies as like, come see Pinocchio and eat some pie while you're at it, I think that would have been fine.
Yeah, I think he could have crushed it.
The problem is that he like so many evil people in our society, is a bottomless pit of need. He needs to not only be financially successful, but for everyone to tell him how cool and good he is.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you, given the opportunity...
If I could, get
you
all the
run a
magic.
pie empire. It can't be that good.
Mm-hmm.
If I was like born into a pie empire family where I don't have to do anything, it's just we own this company that's making us lots of money, and like that's it, I'm set for life. Like I wouldn't do anything, DJ. I wouldn't care a single fuck about what anybody does or says because I'm just gonna get to live my life.
No, you'd name search yourself on. That's what you think, but you would spend all day name searching yourself on Twitter.
It's the whole thing where
that's just how it happens.
Like warps people's
it's a
minds
worm
and
that gets in your brain
you
and
would
just
become
eats you from the inside.
Yeah. That's another. There would have been a reference to Jack Warner buying Twitter.
Oh my god! Yeah, there would have.
If it was Shrek 3 level.
Yeah, this is worse than those birds I bought the other day or something. It'd just be like three dead blue birds in a cage. Yeah.
Cost me 44 billion gold to bloom.
Yeah. Oh no, Puss has my assassination coordinates. No. Stole them from me, Jack Horner. I think I was going to say I would have liked it, and this wouldn't have made any sense, but I would have liked it if he never said what his wish was. And because of things he said otherwise, we kind of assumed it was he wanted all the magic. But for a second, he almost got to make the wish, and it was to kill Pinocchio. And that was his whole thing. He just wanted to kill Pinocchio, and because Jiminy Cricket exists in this universe, but he doesn't know Pinocchio, so he could have saved him.
We don't know that he doesn't know Pinocchio. He doesn't mention knowing Pinocchio, but he doesn't say he doesn't know him.
That's true. I guess he could know him. Well, yeah, because I guess we get his origin before the grasshopper's involved.
No. Oh, yes, we do.
We get Jack, yes.
He tells it to the Serpent Sisters.
So he may not recognize that that's the same guy. Because, I mean, he doesn't look the same. I do think all the characters, like, look pretty good and like you would expect. And he looked like something else. And it was interesting. It was a very interesting choice. What did you guys think of him?
His nose was bad to look at.
That is true.
It was.
That is super
Not
true.
in like the animators messed up kind of way. You know, they were trying to make a kind of fucked up guy, and he looks kind of fucked up.
Yeah, he had
I guess, like, good job. You did it.
He had a big giant body and a little baby head.
Right. Like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Except instead of head, it's arms.
That's true. Can you imagine if T-Rexes had little heads but big arms? We'd be in trouble.
Oh, man.
They wouldn't need to eat as much. Or, well, maybe they would. They just need to do it more. It'd be harder.
That's the premise of my next movie. What if there's a T-Rex with a little head but big arms?
Is Jason Statham attached? Because if not, I think this is perfect for him.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that movie that's fucking Kylo Ren's gonna be in soon.
Oh yeah,
65 million years or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looks good.
It's like that, except instead of real dinosaurs, it's T-Rexes with little heads and big arms.
T-Rexes with little heads and big arms. You guys, you hear that, Hollywood? Don't you steal it, because we just said it, so that's going to be
TM
soon. Yep. Speaking of magic, spun the wheel again. Got the worst magic defense system. Let's talk about the map itself.
Okay.
I don't remember who said this, so whoever
it was
is.
me.
Okay, yeah. What's
it was me, Austin. It was
oh
me
my
the
God.
whole time.
It was your, yeah.
I'm the one who sold us to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
Austin.
I'm the one that did a bunch of things we don't talk about anymore, Austin. Let's talk about something else.
I'm the one who did all those things all those NDAs are about, Austin.
Yeah. It was me. It was me the whole time. What? Never mind. But I did it. I definitely did it. He's a weird guy. Remember when his wife ran for Congress or something?
Yeah, she did it, I think, more than once.
Yeah.
And she was the small business
administrator,
the Trump
yeah.
administration, right?
Yeah, that's right. Ugh, Connecticut. It's like the Canada of America, if you ask me. No.
Whoa.
Connecticut's
Sorry to our
cool.
Connecticut fans, I guess.
By which
I
you
know
mean
people.
they have bad pizza.
Listen, what I said is not as bad as what you just said. Connecticutians will take being called to Canada, but the pizza thing, for some reason, they will not let go. And I understand it if you're not from New York. It's probably better than Philadelphia pizza. I've had it. It's fine. Have you ever had Connecticut pizza?
I have not, no.
No, I've never been in Connecticut, and I never will.
Ugh, not anymore, you won't. But yeah, let's talk about the worst magic defense system.
Right. So the magic map that they have is not an actual map, but when you open it up in the dark forest, where you have to go through like a portal to get to, it like gives you metaphorical trials that are also real places that you have to get through to like get to the wishing star, because it's all very magic. But what it is determined by whoever is holding the magic map. Now, there's two things about this. One, you don't seem to need to have the map to get to the star, which implies that if you just go in without the map and try to look for the star, you get to do that without triggering any defense systems whatsoever.
Yeah, any of our many flying characters could just get there.
Right. And secondly, it doesn't matter who you're with. It matters who is physically holding the map. So it's like Puss in Boots and Kitty Softpaws, it's implied, want to make like selfish wishes, or otherwise like the wishing star thinks they shouldn't make their wish. So it gives them like really difficult paths that reflect their inner suffering. Like Kitty Softpaws has to go to like the swamp of misery and the mountains of loneliness or whatever. And Puss in Boots has to go through the cave of lost souls and something of torment. I forget exactly what. But then Perito, the little dog voiced by Guillermo, opens it up, and it's like the happy dandelion forest. The meadow of quick and easy solutions, which was a joke I liked.
The lazy river or something, but nice lazy river.
Right. And it's like, yeah, it turns out that they were allowed to just go on those ones as long as Perito was holding the map. And it's like, okay, so I just bring a simple but kind-hearted idiot on me to make my evil wish and everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
well, to be fair, like, as we saw with the, like, Smell the Daisies or whatever, like, Puss in Boots and Kitty Softpaws did not know how to, you know, artfully navigate through that, and Perito's like, oh, you just gotta smell the roses, and they're kind of learning along the way what they need to do, now, you know, through these.
DJ, I would buy that if it happened more than once.
That's true.
The problem is we don't see the other two locations on Perito's map. Now, I guess we do kind of get the idea of, like...
The river's just a river.
Yeah.
The river's just a river. We do...
But
we do kind of...
He has a heart-to-heart, right?
Yeah.
He has a good heart-to-heart.
We kind of get the idea of, like, oh, these locations are trying to, like, teach you something. Because we also have Goldilocks going to the Forest of Nostalgia.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Where it's like, reflect on all the good times you had with your bear family. But she's like, no, I want a real family, not bears.
Why would I do that shit?
Get out of here with your friggin' bears. What do I look like, a Chicagoan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bear. That show's cool. He should be in the next one as another bear. Cousin bear. Cousin! And then he shows up. The bear.
I wouldn't say any of them are the bear.
I mean, I think the bear is the bear.
Oh, wait, sorry. You mean that a guy from the Bear TV show should show up in the next Puss in Boots with the three bears. I thought you meant that one of the three bears show up in the bear.
Ooh, that too. Florence Pugh should be the new chef next year who buys the restaurant or something.
She's like, I know a little something about bears.
Yeah, or he should show up and be their cousin from a different place, but also still a bear. Either one of those I will accept. Hollywood, you got 2 years probably until I forget we said this. But yeah, it's a lot of bears this year. Big year for bears.
Yeah, that being said, DJ, though, I would still very much rather go through the field of roses that I have to smell instead of the swamp of misery, which sounds like it would be a rougher time.
Well, yeah, but then like the roses thing eat the guys immediately. Like Puss and them, they get away because they're pretty sweet at backflips and stuff. But like the guys that are working for Jack just get immediately killed by the flowers. So
a lot of murder in this one.
A lot of murder via like negligence, and a lot of just like straight up, I want to kill you. Let's kill you. Which is fun because that's how forests work in fairy tales and stuff. So
and in real life.
So yeah, that's true. That's the rules. Mm-hmm. I feel like Wait, so who was it? Kitty's one that was the one that was what ended up holomirizing him?
What ended up whatting him?
Holomirizing Puss in Boots.
Oh, that was the Cave of Lost Souls. That's one of Puss's.
That was one of his? Oh, okay, yeah. I did like how the map could be used to track other people playing whatever this was. That was handy.
Yeah,
That was convenient.
real Marauders map vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, where were friggin' Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs and the fourth one?
I mean, we got Padfoot as the bad guy.
Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs.
But yeah, we got, Wolfman. That's one. Easy. One of them was a rat. Probably didn't do that in this movie. I forgot what those other two were.
Wormtail. Padfoot was a dog, and Prongs was a steer.
Oh, so
Not a
they had dog-
steer, a deer.
They had
Stag.
dog and wolf?
No,
Ugh,
no.
Joe.
No. Wait, yes. Because one was a werewolf and the other was a big dog.
Dog, friend of dogs. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we have plenty of wolves in this movie. Very short on those other two things, which is a shame. But yeah.
The important thing, Nando, is that turning into something that you're not is unnatural and bad, and nobody wants it.
That's true. And we're the slaves to rebel 100 years ago. They need to be stopped.
Right.
Something needs to be done. And also, it is unethical to judge art based on its artist. That is bad to do.
Right.
Don't you dare. Yeah, there's so many things. I always tell people, like, just do this instead. You don't have to do Harry Potter. I get it. You like Harry Potter. But do Puss in Boots. That's better than Harry Potter now. So you could just switch. And I hope they do.
Yeah.
I hope
As
Universal
long as
switches to Puss in Boots land.
Doesn't get on a hot mic talking about his opinion about trans people.
I think Puss in Boots would be generally inclusive.
Here's the thing, Nando. If you told me, like, hey, we're going to put a mic in front of your favorite celeb and ask them what they think about trans people, yeah, I'd hope that they'd, be inclusive and say kind and nice things. But I would also be like, I would rather you don't do that.
I'm just going to say, based on evidence from the movies, Puss has transitioned to a big horse once. Seemed cool with it. And he was fine with Perito pretending to be a cat in this movie. He called him out on it, but he didn't,
When did he
distance
transition
himself
into
for him
big
for that
horse?
reason. Well, in the second movie, doesn't he turn into a horse or something?
No,
oh,
that's
no,
Donkey.
that's Donkey. Does he not turn into anything?
No, Puss doesn't drink the potion. Only Shrek and Donkey do.
Well, he's probably still nice to Donkey even after he changes. So, I think he would be inclusive. But that's just me.
There's no way for us to know unless
Puss in
someone puts
Boots
a mic
3.
in front of Puss in Boots.
Yeah. I spun the wheel again. You guys landed on one of Diggins's. More than 13 guys die. A lot of guys die.
So, a lot of guys die, which is one thing. Like, for this children's movie, it's not... I mean, it's all cartoony, but it's not like it's, implied or anything. We see a man get turned into a skeleton by a demon plant right before our very eyes.
Yeah, and that's the first
it's
one of
true.
these where you're supposed to be like, uh-oh, that's what this is doing. Good. Very cool.
And also, the Serpent Sisters talk very openly about all the big murders they did to get the map.
Yeah. How about when the one guy gets shot? I do think it's fun rewatching it. The first time someone gets shot by the unicorn horn and turns into confetti, Puss's reaction is just like, what? I like that he was like, holy shit, he's doing this to guys. It's pretty good. It's like when that person opens the door and is like, what the fuck is Megan? That person is the other hero of the movie. Still rules.
But it's also like, so when Big Jack Horner sets out, he's like, bring me the baker's dozen. And so he gets all his evil henchmen to come with him in his big ol' cart that he turns from a pumpkin, because that's his best magic item.
Yeah,
he has
that
the fairy
is
godmother's wand. He should have been using that more often.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it the same? Did he kill her? Did she die in the third one, probably? Did she die in the second one?
She does die in the second one. Her
Yeah,
spell
she does.
bounces off of something and evaporates herself. And then
So
in the
he got
third
that.
one, Prince
Robbed the
Charming
corpse.
is the villain because he wants his revenge for killing his mama.
That I remember, yeah. So, yeah, he grave robbed her, much like Dumbledore at the end of the seventh movie, and stole her magic wand from her. And now he has it. But, yeah, you're right. That is the best weapon. You should use it more.
Right. Anyway, so yeah, he's like, he's got his baker's dozen, and he sets off, and they're dying constantly while he does stuff in this movie. Just dying over and over again, and way more than 13 of them die. I swear, even specific guys show up in the same scene after they're supposed to have died because
Lit.
because they have consistent designs of these are the 13 guys. You don't see them for very much, but they clearly like designed them each, right? And
they could be twins.
I guess. I mean, a lot of
think
twins
that's what
do
it
get
is.
into acting.
Yep, for that reason.
Listen.
So you can have multiple guys running around.
Listen, Diggins, it's clearly Kill Bill rules where it's like the Crazy 88. There's not actually 88 of them. It's just like a title. The Baker's Dozen is a great name for a gang, and they just call them that because it sounds badass. It's like, oh no, Jack Horner's Baker's Dozen is after us. There might be like 20 of them, but like we're not going to call ourselves the Baker's Dozen and a half. We're the Baker's Dozen.
What if the unicorn horn doesn't kill you? It just transports you like 20 feet behind Jack Horner, and you just have to keep going. So you never see what happens to those guys.
That's true.
I mean, what happens to them is they explode.
Well, yeah, they explode, but then maybe they're fine. But then they do all fall down that chasm, so everybody dies then. That's pretty good.
No, that's when everyone except for one guy dies.
Yeah.
But even that, he has like a bridge of like 6 people that he's walking across to get across the chasm in that part. And it's like way more than 7 of them have died by that point.
That's true.
He blows up like 4 of them alone with the unicorn horns.
I was gonna say we see one eaten before our eyes in the forest. A couple more of them thrown around, but I'm not sure if we see any of them actually die.
We definitely see a couple more get eaten. They don't get turned into skeletons, but they get eaten.
And then we see the, like you were saying, I think it's about 4 too that get unicorned. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe he used some magic. Maybe that was what he was using the fairy godmother wand on the skeletons and bringing them back to life.
Maybe.
It's like they were in heaven and they got pulled down to do more Jack Horner stuff.
I don't know. You think if you work for Jack Horner's assassination squad that you make it into heaven?
I mean, what if they really like making pies? And that's just that's the only way you can do it, you know?
This is the price I must pay for my art.
For your art, exactly. Gotta separate the pie from the piest. It's different, you know.
Piest?
The piest. That's what they call themselves. Very technical.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, Jack Horner used to be one of the kings of Poland.
That's right. Yeah. What else about those guys? It was cool that they died.
It was cool that they died because they were bad guys, and that means it's okay that they die.
Yeah, their deaths are meaningless.
Although not according to Jiminy Cricket.
That's true.
It's true.
What did you guys think of that bit where Jiminy Cricket keeps trying to be Jack Horner's conscience, and Jack Horner doesn't care at all when people die?
I liked it.
I liked
good
it.
Consistency.
I
good
do
levity.
think we got that beat from Jack Horner a lot. Like
That's
every time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I feel like we
happens
overdid
at
it
the
a
end
little.
too. Yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe if they played with it more, where he did seem like he was falling for it or something, and then
or like he's like Jiminy Cricket says something, and he's like, "You know what? You're right," and then did something even more horrific that's vaguely related to Jiminy Cricket's advice.
Or like, yeah, misinterpreted it and was instead like burned all his men to death instead of let them be eaten or something. Because that's the nice thing to do. And then, yeah, that feels like maybe they're saving that for Pinocchio origins or whatever.
That's true. I was gonna say he dies, but then if we're doing a prequel, we could have little Jack Horner.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Pinocchio dies. I was like, he better not die in these. He's wearing a thong. It's hilarious.
I mean, I haven't seen Shrek Goes Forth. But I don't think he's dead.
No, I don't think he dies either.
And I mean, the majority of Shrek Goes Forth take place in an alternate timeline. Anyway.
Exactly, yeah. I'd be surprised if he's even in it. It seems like it's a lot of ogres from what I've seen. And Rumpelstiltskin, who's Mixie Spitlix in that one or something. It doesn't, I don't know. I haven't heard good things.
I mean, Rumpelstiltskin has always been Mixie Spitlix. Like, that's his thing. You make him say his name and he fucking dies. Or you say his name and he fucking dies. Whatever.
I guess the reason I think he's Mixie Spitlix is the voice I remember him using in that 4th one. I'm like, that's a good Mixie Spitlix voice. Although it's not Gilbert Godfrey, who is the original R.I.P. guess.
One could say that instead of doing a Mixie Spitlix, he's doing a Jack Frost from the Santa Claus 3.
Oh, a Martin Short. I love those. Big fan of those. Remember when the Easter Bunny is in that? And it's a monster. I showed that to people this year. They were talking about Santa Claus. I'm like, you don't know, but in the 3rd one, there's a guy in an Easter Bunny costume, and he looks like a fucking monster. He looks like the one from that movie where Jake Gyllenhaal is sad. Easter Bunny Santa Claus. You guys, I spun the wheel again. Landed on one of Diggins's Puss in Boots fetish life. Let's talk about that. I'll show you the Easter bunnies in a second. But
Also a fetish life.
Also a fetish life. Here, I found it. It's really, really... If anybody hasn't seen this movie, this is the one where like all the fairy tale or all the Christmas holiday characters all have like AA meetings or something. And he goes to them and Everybody looks normal except the Easter Bunny, who looks like that. Yeah, it's really bad. I don't know why I thought that was cool.
Friggin' God.
Looks like the Grinch.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. He looks like Jim Carrey's the Grinch.
Yeah. And I can't fault them for trying to, replicate greatness, but it's tough. It's tough balance. But yeah, so the other thing. The fetish life. Right. Let's talk about Puss in Boots' lives. The lives and deaths of Puss in Boots.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so we in the big cave we see all of Puss's past lives, which are all still him. So I guess it's just representing the period of his life between each death.
Yeah.
And all of them are just like kind of represented by the thing that they were doing when they died. Like the one who jumpingly drunked off a tower is just drunk on milk.
I love that. He jumpingly drunked off the tower. Listen,
sometimes words are hard to do.
I'm so jumped right now. I'm gonna drunk off this tower, he said.
Sometimes we're recording pretty late and words are bad out of mouth.
Did he? Was that St. Patrick's Day, by the way? Is that what he's going for?
Yeah.
He's wearing green in that one.
I think so. I
do too.
Yet another sign of how the Irish and their iron grip over media.
Hollywood. Obviously.
But yeah, anyway, they're all just like normal. Like one talks about gambling metaphors because he died cheating at cards, etc., etc., etc. But one of them, the weightlifting Puss in Boots, is like a big, sexy, burly Puss in Boots. And it's like somebody on the animation team was into this.
Absolutely. You need it. It's like those little dancing tigers at the end of Zootopia. You need a little something for furries that came all this way.
God, you take one look at those tigers and you're like, somebody wanted this.
Yeah. It's a demo. You want a court. You don't want to upset them for sure. That's maybe you don't need those things in every animated movie, but you better not make it seem like they might be there and then not have them.
God, like you look at the rest of the Zootopia animals and you're like, I can see how the furries will like this, but like it's also just its own thing. It's also just, cartoon animals for children. But you get to those friggin' tigers and you're like, that was for them. This is them. They infiltrated the movie.
Good for them, Powerful lobby.
They gotta get their wins.
The Irish, them and the furries together could take over the whole world if they wanted. They could challenge the K-pop stands for control of everything, who I think currently have it. But yeah, furry Puss in Boots. He's a big giant muscle man. Do you think he came back deflated like a balloon?
Yeah, like what? Shouldn't he have stayed at that physique?
Yeah. So wait, is it that dying brought him back to his natural physique, or is it that after he was crushed to death by a weight, he swore off weightlifting for the rest of his life and just naturally grew back down to his regular physique?
Maybe it was all fillers, and it was like injections he was doing. He wasn't really that strong, actually, and that's why he died.
Yeah, he was like really getting really dehydrated, so that he'd have big show muscles and everything.
Exactly.
That's possible.
Also, now that I'm thinking about it, wait a second. The doctor doesn't know about the lives thing either with cats. Is this a secret?
Wait, the doctor does know about the lives with cats.
He kind of brings it up as like, Puss, you died. And he's like, yeah, I know, I'm a cat. And the doctor's like, then kind of shifts gears. It's like, oh, but how many times have you died? But at the beginning, it seems like he's telling him as if this is surprising to him.
I think it's less that he's surprised by the information and more than he's like, yes, Puss, I know you have multiple lives, but losing one of them is still pretty serious.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And he's right.
That is right.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe we'll see that in the origins of Puss in Boots. Just a sexy life,
Just hot Puss in Boots.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't know, or do we know? No, because I've been thinking the first movie... No, he meets Kitty Softpaws in the first movie. They don't know each other from before, I think. I think her backstory is a secret to him. So, it would have had to have happened before then.
Yeah.
Darn it. Speaking of Kitty, I spun the wheel again. This one's just, I also didn't go to the wedding. She gets off real easy on that, huh? No questions about it. Just, I guess you didn't go either.
At the same time, I get it that there's that moment of indignation where you're like, what? You didn't go? But then you're like, I did not go, so how justifiably mad can I really be about this?
Now, why is she so mad?
How does she even know, for that matter?
Yeah. Somebody tell her? I mean, there were people in the church, I assume. just waiting for either of them to show up. It's like, we knew one of them probably wouldn't go, but both? What? This is the worst wedding ever. Like, yeah, it's not a good, they're not a good couple. I mean, they are, but like, that's a really weird little beat. Like, why didn't she get married to him?
Maybe it wasn't for her.
It seemed like she wanted to, though. That's what she says. She's like, she needs the commitment that he wasn't able to give.
That's actually a really good point.
Like, it feels like, if anything, it would be like, that's just not like out of character for her, but it's like, maybe she could have been lying in that moment to be like, oh, I didn't even go either. It's fine. But
right.
I don't know.
True. We only have our word to go on.
Yeah. It's a Rashomon situation. We're going to see a couple different versions of the story. All right. I spun the wheel one more time. It's landed on the last one, which is, hey, Puss, who is that? So for the whole movie, it's like the wolf isn't real or whatever. But then it turns out it's just a guy walking around.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
He kills people. He's dead.
Yeah, he's
Nobody knows about him?
Well, is he the big bad wolf? That's what I thought.
No.
Oh, Big Bad Wolf's a different guy.
The big bad wolf is a cross-dresser in the Shrek universe.
That's right.
Right.
So we can.
Right.
So
Because
maybe, yeah.
just the Pinocchio joke wasn't enough. We had to have more than one.
Mm-hmm. It's a and oh no, there's three too, because then there's also the barmaid who has a tough voice. Remember that?
Oh,
they
man.
love that joke
Guys,
in Shrek. It's their favorite.
It's so funny when a person does a gender thing that is opposite from the gender you would think they would be.
Yeah, 2002, man. We were still figuring things out.
Yeah, we were.
This is why I would be terrified if we put a mic in front of Puss in Boots and asked him his opinion on Transformers.
I mean, yeah. He's
So this guy's not the big bad wolf. He's just
he's just
another
Death who
wolf.
appears as a. I think you're supposed to be like, oh, big bad wolf, but he never says that he is, and big bad wolf already exists, so I think he is not.
Yeah, I think in his little intro thingy it just says like wolf or something. Does he get an intro thingy?
He does not get an intro thingy, and he never introduces himself until he says that he's Death.
Yeah, so the other people can see him.
Yes.
Yes.
This seems like a big deal.
Yeah.
I feel like this is good.
Death can just manifest on Earth whenever he wants.
Yeah, and like talk to you and make sure you learn your lesson and stuff.
And try to kill you if he decides that you don't appreciate your life enough.
Yeah.
How do people like Jack Horner even exist if Death can just decide, this guy seems like a real piece of shit, so I'm going to kill him?
Well, but he has the big magic staff, so I don't want to try to fuck with that. He might shoot my head off. Maybe that's what you need to kill him.
It also just seemed like Death specifically has a problem with, like, Puss in Boots has 9 lives, and he's, like, just wasting them.
Yeah.
So that seems to be more just sickening to him.
That's true. Death simply hates cats, proving that he's a good and moral person.
Oh, my God.
No, opposite. Take an opposite. He's a bad person because
you
he does...
monster.
Yeah. The dog is bad. That's why the movie is good. You see?
The dog is great, but the cat and dog are great. You guys can agree on this one.
Yeah. Do either of you guys watch Narcos, by the way?
Nope.
No.
I don't recognize that guy, but that's mostly what he's from, I think.
Is he the
cool.
narco?
Yeah, he's Pablo Escobar, the titular narco. Did, when you guys were watching this, were you like, that's not that guy, but it sounds a lot like him. That one guy who does all these things. Benicio del Toro, is that his name?
Benicio del Toro is the name of an actor. I did not think at any point that he was Benicio del Toro.
Oh, really? I thought it was Benicio. I thought it was Benicio del Toro or the bad guy from Skyfall. Those two guys. They're the two guys you call for this role in Hollywood.
Death personified as a big wolf?
Yeah, scary big wolf death man. The two scariest voices in the whole biz. Oh, right, he's the collector. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He's good in those.
Oh, and he's the from The Last Jedi.
That's right. He's DJ.
Yeah,
The
he's
character
your
with
name.
the same name as you. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was also Pablo Escobar in a different thing.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, it's a casting dilemma.
Look at him go.
Wait, now I want to see what is this? I can never remember his name. Silva from Skyfall.
Oh, gosh, who does play
Big
him?
giant man with the air gun
Javier
thing.
Bardem.
Hi, Javier Bardem. Has he ever played Pablo Escobar? Is this just like the role? You got to do it, get in the biz. But yeah, he's kind of who I thought it was, actually. But he's got a cool voice.
He does have a good voice. All the voice acting in this is quite good, actually. You know, none of it felt like Mario-level stunt casting.
No, yeah.
I mean, I
Thank
guess
God.
Antonio Banderas kind of is, but we're just so used to him being Puss by now that that doesn't even enter your mind.
Yeah,
It's true.
he's good at it too. I think it obviously it helps that like those Zorro movies are great, but it also helps that like it's not that he's been doing that for a while. Like he's not coasting on Zorro, but he is an actor who it was like that's exactly what you're for. Like you're perfect at it. And then it's just like some of the times in movies like Dolittle, it's like, oh, this is not playing to his skill set. But this, it's like, yes, exactly. He even did the little Zorro pee on the guy. He peed on him.
He peed on him, yeah.
Did the pee on the governor guy right before he blew his whole house up.
I mean, we do get some primo shots of Puss pee.
Oh, yeah, we do. That's
Or
true.
Puss
also
piss,
for the,
if you will.
for the furries. Yeah, sickos.
Yeah, for all the sickos out there. You wanted to see Puss in Boots pissing? This is the movie for you.
Yeah. Also, I checked it. Javier Bardem was Pablo Escobar in a movie called Loving Pablo from 2017. So yes, it is.
Oh.
It is just the role. It is. You got to do it.
If you're a Hispanic man with a sexy accent in Hollywood, then eventually you're going to play Pablo Escobar.
Yep. Or if you're Vinny Chase from Entourage, also got to play Pablo Escobar. He financed the movie though, so it's like kind of how we got in. But that was my first reaction. Pablo Escobar. Oh, he's like a white guy from California. No, it's different than that. Oh, okay. Whatever you say. Entourage told me different.
You thought the man named Pablo Escobar was a white man from California?
That's what Entourage seemed to suggest. Do you know that there's a whole season where all he does is make a Pablo Escobar movie starring himself, and the movie doesn't ever go like, I don't know about that, because Vinny Chase could do no wrong.
Literally everything I know about Entourage is from segments like this where you bring up a thing that happened in Entourage.
A lot of things are like Entourage when you really get down to it. He is one of the 4 Pablo Escobars we've had, the great Pablos. But the death is cool. He's a cool guy.
He doesn't afraid of anything.
Yeah. I like that he had that bit. I like anybody who has a weapon that you can snap them together and make a big long weapon. That
was
was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. We love that with lightsabers.
We do love it with
Fucking love it.
lightsabers.
Also, both of his big fights with Puss in Boots were really cool.
Yeah, they were pretty cool, weren't they?
Very fun.
Do you think he went to like Fiona's dad in the 3rd movie, the frog, like cut his head off or something? Does he think he gets involved in every death or only specific deaths?
I feel like he collects all souls after they die, but I think he only kills people he doesn't like.
Interesting. That makes sense. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
It's like one
So
of
do you
those
think
jobs.
he
where
was
you,
like all those Jack Horner dudes who died? Do you think on his way to like get Puss, he was just like picking those ones up? Like, yeah, hell, there you go. You also hell.
I think so. I think he would pick them up like, Jesus Christ, Puss in Boots is really going on a tear. He's killed 40 people on this whole trip.
Well, maybe
They
he's
were all
not
Jack
afraid
Horner's
of
guys.
dying anymore. He's killing so many people.
I gotta take this seriously.
Overcame his fears.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the wish being ripped in half and no wish?
I mean,
That's fine.
That's how a movie like this has to end, right? Nobody makes a wish, or the wish is like comically small or something. That's how this goes.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
I was pretty much expecting that. I mean, listen, you hear the premise of this movie, you know going in, everyone's going to learn by the end that they don't need a wish, that thing they wanted is already here. It's like, yeah, okay. And I mean, I'm saying that like it's so cliche because it is. The movie does execute it very well.
Yeah,
I mean, basically perfectly.
for sure. It's
But-
like,
But I'm just saying, we got to that moment and I was not surprised.
yeah. I do like that the, whatever it was, morality bug killed him.
That was
Final
fun.
nail in his coffin. That was cool.
And then he saluted the screen, letting us know
He
how
did.
brave all the troops are.
Yeah, and then he tried to form a union in the movie. He said, no, thank you, sir. You're gone. This is animation. Where originally he was going to form the union, but DreamWorks got their grubby little hands on it and changed it. What was I going to say? Oh, what about the beginning with the big giant thing? Is that a thing?
The Giant of Del Mar.
Yeah, like, is that a real...
Well, apparently everything in here is based off something, unless they decide to make it up or
I
whatever.
do believe there are legends of like giants in some sort of in like some part of Spain.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Like
sleeping giant
Zaragoza
parks.
or something. That might be based on.
Yeah,
but I don't know for sure.
It's a good thing Puss could save everybody, because otherwise he really would have fucked that whole city up big time. Everybody gets taken, and he just had a big party. Everyone was cool, and then out of nowhere, he had a million fireworks, and he woke up the big monster that he's never heard of before, and yeah, had to deal with it. What happens? Is that thing just lie in the center of town now?
I guess. I mean, is
Right?
it dead?
I don't know, but I hope not. Or I hope so, because otherwise it's just going to get up, and Puss in Boots left, so... I don't know.
You gotta say, giving a Spanish splinter to someone is a heinous crime.
Oh, dude, that is fucked up.
It's a cool crime.
Michelle cringed both times that happened. She's like, "Oh my god."
It's cringeworthy.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of the end when they look at Shrek and go, "There's gonna be another Shrek movie, probably"?
I'm like, I can't believe it, and I can't believe it. What are we gonna do? What are we
Why
gonna
is
do?
this going to be like the next season of The Mandalorian? You show up to Shrek 5, and it's like, Puss and your girlfriend, Kitty Softpaws, and your best friend, Perito. We all know you. And all the Shrek heads who skip the Puss in Boots movies will be like, what the hell is this?
I mean, definitely, and I think it's the opposite, right? It's we skipped the good thing for the bad thing. If anything, the next Puss in Boots 3 will have a Shrek in the middle that nobody watched, and it'll be really confusing. Like, when did Kitty Softpaws die? It's like, I guess in Shrek. I don't know. Nobody watches them because they stink. But Puss in Boots is cool. I was going to say, I do think it's funny. I think that shot, because the shot is them on the boat, and they say, "Where are we going, Puss?" And he says, "For new adventures and to meet some old friends." And you, as a person in the thing, go, "Oh, Humpty Dumpty from the first one." No, you go, "Oh, it's Shrek from the before." And then you hear the Shrek song. And then you're like, that's definitely Shrek. And then we see the Shrek castle. And then it's like, yep, we're on it. It's Shrek. And then you see the words "far, far away." It's like, everybody on board with the Shrek thing yet? Do we need to see Shrek next? Big picture of Shrek next to it.
The only post-credit scene they've ever seen is the one from X-Men First Class, where we see Apocalypse standing around while everyone chants "En Sabanur" over and over again, and then he does an Apocalypse thing.
That is true. That is from that. Actually, it's from Days of Future Past. But also, it seems to line up with what Apocalypse's deal is anyway, so that's a really bad one. I think all post-credit scenes should be Harry Styles wandering into the movie and going, "I'm Harry Styles." Get excited.
Harry Styles wandering into the movie, announced by Patton Oswalt.
Yeah. And then we never see him again. I don't know. Maybe he'll show up in one of these. Anything else about Shrek, Puss in Boots 8, The Last Wish? I guess this is the 7th Shrek movie, technically. No, 6th.
It's the 6th.
Yeah.
Because there were the 4 Shrek movies and then the 2 Puss in Boots movies.
There was also some sort of weird Christmas special that I have not seen, but I'm not counting that. Yeah. So yeah, the 6th Shrek movie. Any other thoughts about it?
About the 6th
It's
Shrek
perfect.
movie?
Yeah, this one.
Not enough Shrek. I was
fair.
sitting around the whole movie going, "Where's Shrek?"
Where's my goddamn Shrek?
Well, do I have a show for you? It's called The Pentaveret, and it features a weird little Shrek appearance. I don't know if you've seen that clip, but we did get some Shrek this year, just not where you'd expect. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Pretty
Pretty
Very
good.
Very good. And I think, you know what? I don't know. What do you think we're getting next? Do you think... Because I do think Kung Fu Panda, I think we know is happening. But...
Like from DreamWorks or from the Shrek franchise?
I would say both. Kind of, do you think DreamWorks' priorities have changed? From maybe like rebooting How to Train Your Dragon to like, never mind, we should do Shrek. Because the people love this movie. It's getting a fair amount. I think it's doing okay box office wise, as well as you can do against the highest grossing movie ever. But you know,
it did the thing that never happens, where it had like a relatively small opening weekend, but then it kept going and doing well, and then it actually had a weekend that was better than its opening weekend.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to end up being profitable by the end.
I mean, who's to say? The Rock.
I mean, The Rock.
We got to check with The Rock. Currently,
yeah, well, when you factor in all the Puss in Boots toys that they're going to be able to sell because of this, like, it's really just off the charts.
Oh my God,
and then
actually,
the international numbers, like, yeah, do you want to see them bigger? Sure. You want more international people to be seeing in Puss in Boots, but, like, there's room for growth there, Nando.
and the big strong Puss body pillows. Those are going to really sell. We're going to be able to print money with those.
They're going to be flying off the shelves. People are going to be like, I want to snuggle up with the weirdly muscular Puss in Boots. Not any of the normal Puss in Boots potty pillows they made, just the muscular ones.
Just the muscular one, yeah. I'm looking at it now. It's currently rocking 257,000 million worldwide.
I was going to say 257,000. That's really bad.
It's working on it. Yeah, it's got a little ways to go before it breaks even. I'm trying to find out its
budget
cost, like budget. Yeah, because it doesn't say it on IMDb because it's bad now. 90 million. So it made money.
Oh wow, that is surprisingly cheap for a CGI animated movie.
Yeah, I guess like it. Yeah, and it had its talent, but I don't know. I guess they're good at it. At like making them a little less expensive now.
Well, they probably just worked all the VFX people to death.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's probably
kept
what
away
it
from their
was.
families.
Yeah, because then
no Christmas bonus.
Because if they die, you don't have to pay them.
Yeah,
that's true. Look at Diggins being this smart capitalist.
Yeah. So do you think we'll get a Puss in Boots 3? Do you think we'll get a Shrek 3? What's coming next? Or Shrek
all of the above.
7 or whatever?
We already got a Shrek 3, so that's in the bag.
I think they'll take it away. I think we'll go. No more Shrek 3. We're
I mean,
starting back at 2.
If you're going to take away a Shrek 3 is the one to do it.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake's not in charge of the kingdom anymore. He died. Everyone killed him.
They got to bring back Farquaad. You'll ever bring back him?
I think they could.
He died. Dragon ate him.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, but eaten by a dragon, I could see him surviving it.
Yeah.
Also, I just feel like they're not that mad at that Pixar guy anymore.
What if he comes back as an avatar? They're like, we cloned you right before the wedding.
He comes back
Farquaad.
as an ogre avatar.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Actually, that would be so fun. Oh, that would be great. Yeah, I don't know. I do think they have kind of not like the well isn't dry clearly, but I am curious to see what the direction this franchise goes in because it does seem like a lot of these fairy tale guys exist already in universe. So I'm curious what they end up doing, but. I trust them. They'll probably be cool. I'm really mostly excited for Kung Fu Panda. I feel like that's going to be sweet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 of those 3 Kung Fu Panda movies are great.
Yeah, and the third one or second one or whichever one you don't like probably has fight scenes that are still pretty cool.
The third
but overall
one, yes.
doesn't quite work. Yeah,
that's true.
But yeah, do you guys want to get to our classic segment then?
Oh, we should totally get to our classic segment.
All right, you guys want to recommend some things to some fine people? DJ, let's start with you. You got anything to recommend?
I got a couple recommendations, Nando and Diggins.
Whoa!
So,
Wowee.
yeah. All right. So first one, I want to recommend a show. Well, actually, first I should say, finished Circle season 5. Incredible.
Oh,
loved it. I know I mentioned it already, but like having seen the whole thing, I think it's a great season. They still have to fix the format where like how it ends, where it's like they need some kind of deal or no deal. I say this every season, but it just can't be the voting mechanism. But that being said, I love the season.
DJ, you have to tell me if those people had sex or not.
It really seems like they did. Like, the evidence is
been
kind
won
of
over?
overwhelming.
You've been won over?
Yeah, it is overwhelming evidence, yeah. Like, yeah, overwhelming evidence. Because
they show full penetration?
Oh, my God. So, it's not, like, light spoilers, but at the end, they, like, Michelle Buteau's like, so are you like single? Are you guys like an item? And the guy's like, you know, and it's like, oh man, like I think you guys fucked. So yeah, he's like, I think she'd be too much for me. So yeah, they definitely fucked.
Boy, he's trying to get away from it. Oh
well,
what a piece of shit.
Yeah, a monster.
So anyway. Great season, would recommend watch. I have another show on Netflix that I saw called The Pressure Cooker. Have you guys heard of this show?
Sounds familiar, but I don't remember what it is.
It has nothing to do with pressure cookers. So
well, that's just false advertising.
Yeah.
The best way I can describe the show is classic. So it's a few things. It's a classic chef cooking competition show. It's also Big Brother, and it's also easily the cheapest show Netflix has ever produced.
Impossible.
Well, hear me out. There's some compelling evidence for this. So, for starters, this show has no host. It is just in a big kitchen/apartment building, and they get all of their prompts from like a ticket printing machine. Like, that's how they get their information for the day. And they're like, oh, every chef knows the ticket printing machine. It's a tale as old as time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, today you'll be cooking, salmon with these people. And it's all the prompts are from this fucking ticket printing machine. So there's no host. There's, like, they probably didn't pay these people anything. They just got the camera crew, a few producers, and a fucking, like, big warehouse. This easily has to be Netflix's cheapest show. There's no writers. Like, there's no way they spent more than like $10,000 on this.
There's
show.
not even real food. They just have to pretend to cook.
The people are just paper. The paper, like, cutouts of guys. They don't even cook. Every time you just see them and they got a new big plate of stuff, and it's like, I think they put that in front of the cardboards. And it says Wendy's on it, so it's pretty cheap on that. Like, they just get it from Wendy's.
Exactly. You guys are totally getting it.
Yeah. It just sounds bad. But no, it could be fun. I don't know. Cooking shows are like...
So, well, no, because
Yeah.
it's like the cooking show element, but it's like has this big brother element to it. So it's not just about the food, but it's like, can you win over your fellow chef to think that you deserve to remain in the pressure cooker? So it's like this whole mind game, part of it as well. So it's like a game on top of a game. I think it's like entertaining and it's fun to watch. However, I didn't love the outcome because I think the wrong guy won. But I still think it's like a good show despite fairly biggish flaw. I think in the show, but I would still recommend watching it.
This sounds like torture. Like, if they were like, we're going to put you in a room, you won't get to see the guys, and we're just going to make you cook until you're done. And that's it. Like, that sounds like something that would be a horror movie or something. But maybe it's cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. Just that description is very funny.
I know. Have you ever seen the Onion? I feel like we talked about this before. The Onion thing, Sex House.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah.
It's like just that horror movie.
But with cooking.
Yeah, with cooking.
All right. So, maybe my first two recommendations didn't get you, but how's this one? I have another one.
Okay.
That's so many.
I know, right? Finally it's been a while since we recorded, I feel like.
It's true.
Finally got around playing to Marvel Midnight Suns, and I am loving it.
Is that good? Nice.
Well, okay. So, I love tactical games, just in general. Tactical RPGs, tactical war games. I love tactical games. So, Marvel Midnight Suns. Pro, my opinion, the gameplay is really good. Firaxis does a really good job with these games. It's a mix of XCOM style tactical movement, strategic placement to attack enemies with a slay the spire element of your move sets are a deck of cards that the different guys have. Some you could just play like regular attacks. Others are you have to build up what's called your heroism to do a big move. So Iron Man just has a regular repulsor blast as a standard attack, but then his big move is a fucking
does the snap just takes out the Infinity Gauntlet, snaps all the guys.
That's it. The ultimate move, Infinity Gauntlet slap. I am Iron Man. Yeah, that's the big move.
That's pretty sick.
It's like some air rockets or whatever. All the guys' things are on theme. Blade, it steals health. Spider-Man immobilizes. So it's all very on brand. I think the writing is fucking terrible.
That's what I've heard. I can't wait.
Do not play this game for the god awful story.
Are all the Avengers your friends yet? Or only some of them your friends? I hear the whole point is you stand around and make the Avengers all your friends.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, and that's how you get better cards and moves. And okay, so I'm torn because that's a very silly little premise to put in your big cool video game, but also I want the bestest cards, so I'm gonna convince Captain Marvel to be my bestest of friend.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, those parts are very silly, and the fucking story is oh no, it's and I've never read Midnight Suns is a comic, right? This is a whole storyline.
It's a bunch of things. It's kind of like the Defenders, or one of those teams where they kind of took everybody with a similar theme. Mostly Blade. Originally it was Blade and Ghost Rider, and then they made them into a team. And then everybody who was kind of you might fight a vampire. You could probably come. You could come Wong. You could come Moon Knight. Those guys.
Okay, so it's oh my god, Lilith is back and we have to save her with you, the protagonist. You're in this game.
Yeah.
I know, right?
It's fucking Tenet. We're doing
our
Tenet
best
again.
friend, protagonist.
Yeah.
Protagonist, you're so cool and smart and handsome.
Do you want to guess? Do you know the name of the character you play?
I do know the name of the player character, yeah.
Diggins, you want to take a guess? Okay, you're the guy you are.
Wait, you play as the main character from Snow Crash, hero protagonist.
No, almost. Well, not almost, but just a little bit less than that.
Yeah.
You play as main character.
So it's like I'm gonna give it to you. It's Hunter.
Yeah,
you play as Hunter.
Hunter Biden?
That's right.
Yeah,
All the cards
laptop.
are different. Yeah, different emails and stuff.
Yeah,
You gotta fight to make sure Lilith doesn't get the Barisma before you do.
you gotta hide the laptop.
Yeah.
You gotta hide the laptop and all the tweets with your ding dong in it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but you just play as generic Hunter, and like again, the story is bad, making friends with the adventure is bad, but the gameplay is like genuinely good, and there's like really cool stuff you could do with like the deck customization, and I love the tactical part of it so much. I just wish that it wasn't so tired with all of the other bullshit. Like, and it's weird. Like, I don't know if it was like Firaxis makes good games, and like the XCOM's games, it's not like you have to make friends. It's more like, oh, you have to do resource management and like manage a base and like energy requirements, and you know, it's also a fun resource management game. But this, it's like it's Avengers the dating sim, and it's like it's less good, but I'm gonna do it so I get all the best fucking cards. But
Who's your
yeah,
best friend in the game?
Huh?
Who's your best friend? Which
Who
Avenger
do you kiss?
Yeah.
I'm pretty tight with Wolverine, so that's been good.
So you're kissing Wolverine.
Yeah, I'm in the photo that he's stroking.
Oh, nice.
I'm in there. So yeah.
Beautiful.
He loves Hunter so much. So yeah, those are my recs for this week. I know it's a bunch, but hopefully one of those like sticks.
How much did you get the game on sale, or was it full price? I'm waiting for that to go on sale a
So
bunch.
like I saw it go on sale on PlayStation, Xbox, and I'm like, perfect, but not on Steam. And this is like one of those games that, like, at least for me, like, I can't play on console. Like,
Really?
I need to be able to like click around and move the map. So like, I need to play this game on a PC. So I did pay full price for it, but like, I'm sure it'll go on sale eventually. I was just tired of waiting. I'm like, I wanted to play this game for a month. I gave it a month. I fucking bought it. So
Did you see the DLC that's coming out?
I know there is DLC coming out. I didn't see any of the particulars about it.
It's this character. I feel like you probably seen him in a comic before. It's Deadpool. He's like, they're trying to get him all hyped up. I don't think people know enough about Deadpool, so they
He's a
made
very
another
obscure
one.
character, so if you haven't heard of him, that makes sense.
It's
So I
interesting.
get a
He's kind
yellow
of
and black Deadpool
self-referential.
outfit?
Yeah, I do not like the outfits, by the way. That's part of it, and I get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're doing. But it's like Captain America, it's like those colors only work. Like, his outfit only works with his colors for me. Like, Iron Man, I think, can rock a different outfit, but it's like, what are you captain of then? Like,
You want
Argentina or some country with a completely different flag? What's going on?
you want to know the worst part?
What? You can't change it?
Well, no. All of there are cosmetics and different outfits that you can equip and get throughout the game, but the Midnight Suns outfits give better fucking stats.
Ah, okay.
So you have to wear them to like play the game and be good. So and you only get that outfit by being besties with the guys. So yeah, like it really is like play our fucking friendship simulator.
So you have to go
That's what I
around
don't
kissing all of the boys.
Yeah.
Yes, and girls.
That's true.
Kissing
There's some
everyone.
girls in there. How's Magic? Is she any good? She's my favorite of those, I think.
Because she's Anya Taylor-Joy.
Exactly. She's in a good movie. She's the best part of that movie. Everyone knows.
So I have not hit the part, like I've met her, but she has not been part of my team yet. So there's like a lot of characters who are in there and around, but like you don't play with. But that could come later. Like Sarah's in it, but like
Sarah,
she's just
everybody's
around.
favorite guy. Yeah.
Everyone loves Sarah.
I'm not sure if Sarah is playable. I'm pretty sure Magic is eventually.
Okay, so I just haven't hit that point where
Yeah.
it's playable.
Man, do you know how much easier it would have been for the main character of New Mutants if she had a third bear who was just right?
That would be so funny. Yeah.
There it is.
Sometimes bears in movies are good, and sometimes they're not as good. So you get one good one and one bad one. I'll take it. Diggins, what about you? Do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. So I've watched a bunch of movies this week, but there's two I'm going to recommend to our fine listeners. The first one is a documentary called Fire of Love.
Oh, I was going to watch this weekend, but I didn't. Is it any good?
Yeah, it's really good. It's so it is a documentary about these two volcanologists. First name and Katya, last name. God damn it. I had this in my head like a second ago.
Yeah, where are they from?
They're from France.
Okay.
Katya and Maurice Kraft.
Yeah.
So they were volcanologists who worked in like the 70s and 80s, and I think a little bit of the 90s. documenting volcanoes. They were known for being especially bold and adventurous. They would go right up to like the caldera of volcanoes and get really close to them, and just like camp out there for a while, collecting samples and studying. And so it was incredibly dangerous, but they also did help advance understanding of volcanoes by quite a lot. But this documentary, which uses entirely archival footage that they themselves shot, because they filmed a lot while they were doing it as part of their research. And they also themselves like made movies out of their archival footage that were released at the time. But yeah, it uses archival footage of them, and it kind of tells the story of their lives also as this love story, not only between themselves, but also like the way their lives are like just inexorably drawn by these volcanoes and like trying to understand them, but also knowing that they never could. And the whole movie is just like, it's very poetic. It's very lyrical about that kind of the beauty of a mystery, how the beauty of a mystery is that you cannot understand it, but the way to love a mystery is to try to understand it. And just like how that applied to them and their lives and their work. It's very, very lovely. It's very affecting, for being a movie about people going on volcanoes. So I think that was fantastic. I also watched another movie called No Bears.
It's the opposite of what we just watched.
Right, yeah. And it's not one of those ironic titles. I can promise you there are no bears in this movie.
I like it when they do that.
Yeah.
They just tell you right off the bat, plain, no bears. Whatever is in the movie is what it is. Puss in Boots too.
It's slightly different from Plain. It's an Iranian movie by the filmmaker Jafar Panahi, who is a celebrated filmmaker who's made lots of critically acclaimed movies, who was told by the government of Iran to stop making movies because they didn't like them. And he didn't. And this is one of those movies that he's made since they told him to stop.
Cool.
And it's about him. It's not like actually autobiographical. It's a fictional story, but like he is the main character. It's about him trying to make a movie in Turkey while he is in Iran, like over Zoom, but also he's staying in this little small village that because he goes around taking pictures, this whole like big thing happens because of the thing he might have a picture of. And it just ends up being this story. It's sort of a parallel story. It's both the movie that he is making and also it is the thing that is happening to him. And they both kind of tell the stories about like the oppressive authoritarianism, not only the literal like governmental one, but also the ways that tradition and family can sometimes like weigh on us in that same way, and like prevent people from seeking their own happiness. For as depressing as that sounds, a lot of it is actually very funny because a lot of it is just people trying to be very polite to him while they're like, give us that picture you took. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they're getting mad at him, but everyone's trying to pretend to be polite the whole time. So yeah, it's surprisingly funny. It's like got it plot-wise because of it has that almost sort of like noirish element to it. It flows really well, and then you get to the ending and it just like rabbit punches you in the gut and you're like, actually this movie's very sad. And it's really great. I don't know if it's in a wide release. I saw it at the Film Forum in New York, and as far as I know, it's not playing anywhere else in this city, so it's probably not playing anywhere near you, but if you get a chance, you should check it out.
And what is it called again?
No Bears.
No Bears, right.
What about you, Nando? Do you have anything to recommend?
I have a couple things I watched. Real quick, I watched the first episode of Last of Us. I got about halfway through before I got bored. Now, I don't think it's boring. I just...
Whoa!
What
the fuck?
I have no... I just don't have any interest in zombie apocalypses. They've done it so many times.
Damn, dude.
They're all the same.
The thing I hear about Last of Us is, if you know someone who hasn't played the game and will never play the game and you want to share the story with them, perfect. Perfect way to do that. If you have played the game and you're familiar with the story and you just want to see it in live action with Pedro Pascal, you're going to have a good time. If you're not one of those two things, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's rough, especially because it is such a one-to-one, like, and I'm sure this is what, like, early Game of Thrones was, but you're like, okay, well, when's the thing gonna happen? Like, what are we doing here? Is it end of season 1? Is it end of season 2? Like, I'm really interested in how they pace the show. I don't know too much about it, although I've heard people talk about kind of some things that you see in the next season, or, like, next week on. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's good, but it is just, like, so many of those scenes, you could just cut in a shot from The Walking Dead, and it would just fit right in because it just looks the same. It's all the same.
The problem is it's a story that was written in, like, what, 2012, 2013?
Yeah.
Ish, yeah. When we love zombies.
Exactly.
We're so high on zombies.
Then to its credit, it's probably the best one, except for, like, The Road, which is this also. But, like, it's just, yeah. Not
but
for me.
have you considered that now it's finally in a medium that isn't a degenerate media for simple idiot children, like video games?
Say, yes, that part is better. I like Pedro Pascal a lot. Also, love Jonathan from The Mummy, who makes a little cameo in the first episode. I don't think we'll see much more of him because his cameo is from the past, but really happy. That was one thing me and my sister were talking about. It's like, Jonathan was in it. I know. So that was fun. Yeah, I don't think it's bad or anything. It's just probably not super for me. I'll try to keep on it because I like Pedro Pascal so much that I'll watch this show. But I did watch it. Did you guys watch it?
Nope.
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh, okay. You didn't recommend it.
But,
yeah.
You forgot.
So how much did you really like it, DJ?
I mean, I will say, like, I wanted to give it more than one episode to do, like, a recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
A likely story.
Also, I have heard the feedback that Diggins mentioned, and that's probably true. So, yeah, like, maybe if you aren't in one of those camps, then, like, maybe it's not worth your time.
Is Michelle that person who will never play the game?
Yeah, but she's not watching it either, so...
Oh, so you're just watching it for yourself. Okay. So you're the other person who likes the game and wants to see it in live action.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
I will say...
I asked Michelle, like, you want to watch? She's like, no, I do not. So
yeah.
That's that.
I think the thing with it is, like, I was explaining this to my barber today, and she was talking about, like, because I was like, what are you watching? You watching anything good? Or, like, I don't remember how that came up, but she's like, I haven't seen any movies, but do you play video games? I was like, so you're watching Last of Us? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, it's interesting because it's one of those games that when it came out, we were all like, this is going to be a show or a movie someday. And the only other one of those that I can think of, besides God of War, which I think is doing that now, is Uncharted. And I think Uncharted does have a little bit, and obviously the movie stinks, but if it was cool, there would be something to see as like, oh yeah, we don't see too many of these Indiana Jonesy kind of adventure movies anymore. But with this, it really is just the genre is so oversaturated to some extent. I also, like, I just watched Sweet Tooth this year or last year, whenever that was. Like, that's kind of this. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It's probably very good. And I'm happy for everybody that likes it. However, I did get back into one of my favorite shows, kind of. It's not like favorite, but I really like it. Because I think there's a reboot coming out or something. I think you guys watch Party Down.
No, I haven't, but I've heard very good things.
Yeah, it's awesome. So it's like it's a bunch of waiters in Hollywood. They're all actors, either like struggling actors or people that have quit or people that are about to start, kind of like models or writers or whatever. But they're also all comedians. It's kind of, I don't know if it's Adam Scott's first thing, but it's one of his first things before Parks. And it's got, I think it's also by the State crew because it's got Don Marino, I think is his name. Is that his name? That's the quarterback's name. No, but you know who I'm talking about? The guy. He's like in like Wet Hot American Summer and all that stuff. I think he has the same name. No, what is his name? Damn it. But he's that guy. He's very funny. And like he's the one I think that if you watch the show for the first time, you're like, oh yeah, he's great. Oh, Ken Marino. There you go. But yeah, like Martin Starr's in there, Lizzie Kaplan, Jane Lynch. Like it's a fun cast. I think it's written by Paul Rudd. So they're getting a new show, but the whole old show is on Hulu. So been going back through that. And yeah, I think it's a great time. It's very of its 2000s-ness. There's a lot of jokes that don't age super well, but also it's another one of those shows where all the characters are bad, so it kind of works. It's tough. But overall, I think it's...
How many times is it funny that a person does a gender thing that is opposite from the gender thing you would expect from them?
Enough. It happens. Oh, that doesn't happen quite as much as like there are a couple things that when they happen, you're like, oh yeah, this is something that people thought was, but it's not. See, the show does seem to know that they're bad, but it doesn't quite get it to the level that you'd expect. Anyway, it's a good show. And yeah,
I mean,
it nails.
hey, listen, Arrested
vibe of being a
Development does a
waiter.
lot of that too, so it's not like
Yeah.
that's a show I still think is really funny. So
Oh yeah, it's for that reason. You like that. You think it's edgy and cool, and they don't let you say whatever anymore. So I agree.
Yep,
The
give
other
me
thing-
$50 billion, the Daily Wire. I think all these things.
Two other things I watched. This, me and Anna were looking for a movie, and I was like, I hear there's a bunch of good kung fu movies or like martial arts movies on Netflix that are just
Kung Fu
sitting there.
Panda.
Exactly, just like Kung Fu Panda. So I was like, I remember I saw a tweet once that was someone asked this question, and like a writer or something was like, "Here's 5 that are good." So I looked at the first one, and gave it a teeny tiny skim on Rotten Tomatoes, and it had good scores. So I was like, okay. I watched a movie called Night Comes for Us. It is, without a doubt, the most bloody movie I've ever fucking seen. It is insane. My head was exploding at some of the times.
You want to talk about a movie with a lot of murder?
Yeah, and it's incredible. And like those two guys, Iko Uwais, who we were talking about before, and Joe Taslim are, I'm assuming this movie is kind of an RRR moment because they have a 20-minute long fight at the end that feels like it's like you've wanted to see these guys fight more, huh? Well, here they go. But like if you like The Raid, it's way more violent than that. But it's also very technically cool, so I did enjoy it, but it's a lot. The next day, we were like, what are we going to watch today? I hear there's a volcano documentary. And then we said, isn't it weird there were so many volcano movies for a while, like that movie Volcano and Dante's Inferno. And then Hannah was like, and then there was that Joe versus the Volcano movie. And I'm like, what was that? She's like, you never seen it? I was like, no. So we watched Joe versus the Volcano. Have either of you guys ever seen this?
No, I've heard of it.
It is so weird. It is a rom-coms, like from 80s, Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, that kind of thing. Might have been the first one of those. But it is way stranger than you would expect. And I think in the first scene, you get a sense for it pretty quick. Like this is not, and it's not like groundbreaking or anything, but it's pretty quirky in a way that I would say like other movies like that are not. So I wouldn't say I had a great time with it, but I think it was interesting. But if I had to choose, I don't know, the one with all the people's heads exploding from getting hit in the face with pool balls, I probably enjoyed a little teeny tiny bit more. Speaking of that, what are we doing next week, fellas?
That is a good question. Do Twilight?
Could do Twilight.
We could.
We could do Joe versus the Volcano.
We could. There's a lot to nitpick. If a certain movie about a certain vehicle, VODs, real quick, we could do that.
Oh. Let's hope.
That would be a real treat.
Let's pray to the VOD gods.
Yeah, but yeah, there's some other movies that are kind of coming in, like that Kaleidoscope thing on Netflix, but like there's nothing that's really sticking out to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll ask. Like we'll keep. If you guys have any suggestions, let us know. But probably a movie debt thing because there's nothing coming out for a while. We could do Shyamalan stuff. If we want to get ready for Night at the Castle or whatever it's called. Knock at the
Night
Cabin.
at the Museum.
Cabin
Night
door.
at the Museum 4 by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, we could do some of those, but I feel like we've done a bunch of them. I don't know how many. Have we done? I guess we did Avatar. Have we done any other Shyamalans? We did Split. We did all those. But
Yes.
yeah.
You did.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe we'll put up a poll.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll let the people decide. But if it's too many bots, we're going to take it down.
We'll have paying people, blue check marks only famous people too. None of these, only legacy check marks as they are called. They can tell us what to do because they are our betters and deserve to be treated as such. Speaking of that, do you guys have anything to plug, DJ?
Just Roses and Rejections. We are finishing up with Bachelor. We're finishing up with The Circle Season 5. We are going to talk about that pressure cooker show. And then we're ramping up with The Bachelor, which starts next week, baby.
My goodness.
So let's go.
Pretty
cool.
cool.
That's all I got.
Diggins, what about you?
Hello. I have to plug my normal things. There is the newsletter, a little perspective.substack.com. You might be saying there hasn't been anything there in a long time, and you're right. I've been busy with other stuff, but maybe soon, who can say? And then I stream sometimes at twitch.tv/thisisanoddname. Also haven't been there in a while. Also busy. Stuff, maybe? Who can say? What about you, Nando? Do you plug anything?
Yeah, just the usual. Oh, you know what? Actually, so besides videos, because I have my what kind of, not like what went wrong, but it's like what's going on with Thor 4 and how is that kind of a symptom of the larger problems with the MCU video. That's out now. Deadpool 3 pitch is on Nebula. Getting great acclaim. People like it. I think it is very good too. So I'm excited. It'll be on YouTube in like late January or like January, I guess, like the end of the month. So if you want to watch it now, Nebula. But also, I was just recording a podcast with friend of the show, Seed. It's a casting podcast where you just like recast an older movie.
You mean a podcast?
I can't remember what it's called, but yes, it's like that. It's like podcast to cast something. That's the but we did a what if they recast, like what if they rebooted The Godfather and just made it again? Who do you cast? And I think my choices are pretty good. So that is not out yet. It'll probably be out in like a week or something. So I'm curious.
By the time
to see.
This actually goes up.
Yeah, exactly. I will have the name of it and I will tweet it out and stuff. But I'll have it next week because I don't have it in front of me and my cat's sitting on my lap, so I can't really type. But I have another podcast out there that people can listen to. It's very good. Until next week, I've been at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. We love you.